Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Gray,
I'm Wolfman.
and this is episode 11 of GrindHaus on 42nd Street.
Fucking A, episode 11.
Last week was just a harsh reminder that maybe my taste as a young adult wasn't as good as it is now.
I was kind of hoping that wasn't going to happen to me on this one, even though I have watched this in the past, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
But obviously this one still holds up.
Well, I hadn't seen this before, and after seeing it, I started comparing it to certain movies, and then actually seeing, okay, well, there's a reason, because this guy did all of them. The movie today is Frankenhooker. But before we even get into anything related to that, let's just knock out some of our basic little news that we have to give everybody.
Our news and begging.
Our pandering.
Pandering. Yes, that's the word you like to use. Our video panhandling.
I wish I had a mug. Just ching ching ching. Oh, this is the first episode that we were gonna have video for. I have that. Is it candy?
Yeah, there
there
were
candy?
warheads in there.
Yeah, I
At
had
one point
those.
in time. Toxic waste, hazardous. Give us your money.
That sounds like there's something in there.
Yeah, there's pennies right now. I went through and took all
I-
the fun stuff out of it.
I have this little bowl, but not much in there.
I just saved it because it's a toxic waste can. It's just kind of funny.
I have one that I haven't opened yet, and because I don't eat sour candy too much anymore.
Oh, those
But-
have been gone for a long time.
Yeah, mine are probably bad because
Yeah.
I've had it for like 6 years now. I don't think I want to eat it unless you guys want to see it, in which case I will.
I do have something over there. Maybe another video. I have zombie blood. It's like a candy or treat or something. Like it's like a blood pouch. It says zombie blood on it.
It's not special effects makeup?
No.
Okay, because they make special effects blood. It's called zombie blood. You don't want to eat that,
No,
though.
no. Another time. I don't feel like getting up.
Nah, you're
So
good.
it's over there.
But this is a good way to start out episode 11 because, like I said, it's our first video.
Yeah.
What would you call it? A video podcast?
Video podcast, video cast, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not going to make a promise we're going to do this every week. We're still working out the kinks, but we figured, got to try it. Got to see if we can get it working right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
My camera quality will be much better shortly. Wolfman's is on point, so
yeah, it's
you don't
okay.
have to worry
I wanna
about that.
I would like to get a better camera, but yeah.
You do want to upgrade?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
They're only getting 720p at the most out of us. I'd like to get them at 1080p, get a nice little crisper picture.
I couldn't believe how expensive some of those cameras were. Looking at webcams and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you got to remember, with everything going on right now, all the prices are jacked up even more than what they normally are.
Yeah, it's
The Logitech C922 is what we would probably end up getting unless we go fancy Canon route with the whole software that we were talking about the other night.
yeah.
They're around $100, not on sale. So normally,
So I just searched up this past week for webcams, and the 920.
the 920 is
what was
older. The 920 is still
Okay.
really good, but it's the older. It's like 4 or 5 years old. The 922,
922 is the
slightly
newest one.
newer, but it's still like 2 years old, I think.
Okay.
Or whatnot, but it's like the standard. It's like the podcast gaming streaming standard camera right now. I'm sure podcast people use higher end stuff, but like game streamers or low end streamers like we are now, that's
They said
like
it was the most popular.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
920
yeah,
and
yeah.
922 is like. And then he even said they're like 80, $100. I'm like, shit, let me hop online.
No.
180, 190, 150. I'm like,
I told you that
how
Razer
is
camera
this-
that I have that I told you to get. I spent $45 on a remanufactured one on Amazon. They normally go for around $75 to $90.
Right.
Someone was like, "Oh, we only have 5 left in stock." $300 each, $297. Like, yeah, fuck you, man.
Seriously, because when all this shit's done and over with. Now, I did come across a company that is supposedly like one of the best in the game when it comes to webcam. It's called Brio. Have you heard of that? BRIO.
A Brio? Isn't that just a Logitech brand? Like later on, like it's just the.
I don't know. I didn't do any research.
I think it's a Logitech Brio. It's just a high end model Logitech.
It was like $400 for a webcam.
I think it's just a high end Logitech. I think. I'm not 100% sure.
But
sounds familiar.
It
sounds. Familiar.
It is the upper echelon of webcams.
It's just not worth the money at that point in time. You can just get a
DSLR or a mirrorless camera. And that's the route that I am going. I am expecting a Canon M50 this week. And hopefully with like Wolfman's guidance, I can have it set up as a webcam so I'll have decent picture, at least, for what we're doing.
We just need 720 by 60p to match me, and then if I can get a 1080, then we can
bump it to 1080.
Yeah, this will do 1080, but only do 30 frames. But I want to run it at 60 because it's a little bit smoother. We don't get like the shaky stutteriness,
Right.
Majority of everyone's TVs and everything all run at 60, so I don't want to drop it down.
Right, and it's not like we're doing we're not action sports stars, so we're not moving around a whole bunch. But when we do move, we want it to look natural and stuff like that. I think actually mine runs at 30,
and I fidget a lot.
See a little bit of
it. I move around constantly. I don't want to.
All right, we're Italian, so we have to talk with our hands.
Yeah, I'm just uncomfortable sitting half of the time too, though.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. Yeah. I hear you.
Got to keep this a fistful from my face. Just put that mic like a fist length for your face.
It's funny because usually we've been on the phone. We haven't really done video stuff for podcasting. I mean, we had the audio through Discord or whatever.
Yeah.
But now we can actually respond and see each other's reactions when talking about something, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's a running joke from the Joe Rogan podcast. He's always telling everyone to put the mic a fistful from their mouth or their face, because everyone tries to talk to them their mic, and it's like out here or whatever. Like, he's like, get that a fistful from your face.
And I did notice a lot of people when they're on that show, they start talking naturally because they're comfortable. So they'll be like this, but then in the middle of the story, they just they'll back up and start talking.
Yeah.
They don't understand that microphone doesn't go with them. You kind of have to be on it.
I'm lucky. You said mine just kind of records fine. I can do that, so I guess I got lucky.
Yeah, you do have a real nice mic. I've noticed because you can be on it like I am, and then even back here.
Yeah, like I moved back. You said it still sounds the same, but I'm like, compared to like when I'm right here talking to you, it just doesn't.
But it's not a big difference. Like I hear the bassiness when you get close, but you don't hear the echo. Like in my room when I back up, you don't hear that on yours. So, good fucking microphone. But
$30.
Wolfman's been doing this longer though.
$30 microphone, USB mic. You don't have to get all crazy with everything.
Yeah, you don't need like a mixing board like I have with all these different knobs and buttons. I'm always constantly fucking with.
Not sponsored by anything, but a Fifine. I forget what model it is, but it's FINE. $50. Got the boom arm with the springs and everything together. Even got like that little splash shield for the pop shield like you guys. Just don't have it on there because I find it annoying.
But you said you also didn't notice a huge difference between having it and not.
No, but I also have a pretty monotone, laid back kind of voice.
And you're not doing a bunch of P's and B's. Yeah. Like if I skip this and I go P and B, you hear the air. At least when I hear it's like P and B.
Oh, it sounds exactly the same to me.
Puh, 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 puh.
I didn't hear any noise when you did it the first time.
Huh? Maybe I just hear it on my. Well, you know what? When I send over the audio track, you might hear it.
Maybe not.
We haven't even made it to our shilling yet.
Fuck. This is what happens. We just talk, and we're gonna gain users from that. And we're gonna turn people off. But if you just want to see the movie or hear about the movie, skip to part 2. If you want to hear about the nitty gritty details and about the directors and all the fun stuff before the movie stuff, then that's what this one's for.
I think part 1's necessary because
I didn't say it isn't. Yeah.
No. I'm just saying for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously the breakdown is the meat and potatoes of the movie, but like knowing what it took to get a movie made, it kind of gives you like a whole new appreciation, for what it was. Wait until we get to like an actual shit show of a movie, like a movie that took like 10 years, Freddy vs. Jason. Wait till we talk about the
surprise. This apparently took 12 years to make. A little.
Jesus Christ!
I read that in here somewhere. It took 12. I don't know if he spent like 11 years writing the damn thing. You know what I mean? But there was a thing in here that said like it took him 12 years to make this film.
Christ.
So, anyway.
And he put out movies in that time period. It wasn't the only thing he was working on.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into that a little later.
Yep.
But let's talk about the things. So we got the contest going on.
Yes.
For everything.
If you haven't been on our Facebook page or you didn't see last week's live stream, we have an awesome giveaway that we're doing. I'm sorry, I just blanked out. Fright Rags is actually sponsoring this contest. They sent us a couple shirts and a pin, and we had
It's actually Fright Rags has got a few things in there, but also this is Gray's personal stuff he's giving away.
Some of it.
Yeah, so it's like partially Gray sponsoring, and then the other half is Fright Rags, who are awesome.
Well, it's GrindHaus. Yeah. It's GrindHaus sponsoring.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. But it's like if he had an extra shirt and he wanted to put it up, and it's coming from us at GrindHaus, and we have tons of stuff, so this won't be our only giveaway.
Maybe we have some listeners out there that want to know that specifically some of it's yours, and they want it because it's yours.
If that's the case, I'm not giving you my trash. I swear to God. I have all the Saw movies individually, but I had a box set, so you guys are going to have that.
We can get Gray to put a little tuna fish in his boxer shorts, and we could send them out if someone wants them.
Or if you don't want the tuna, and I'll just send you boxers. Like, that's cool, too. Please don't make me do that. We got 3 T-shirts. We have a pin. We have a skull. It's not real. Don't worry. Stickers. The DVD, the Saw 1 through 5 box set. It's like a pretty awesome little package. You know what I mean?
That it is. And the Fright Rag shirt is a play off of Maximum Overdrive meets Garbage Pail Kids, and is awesome. And if it was the right size, I would have stole it, and none of you would have gotten it.
You guys wouldn't even know it existed.
Wouldn't even known.
I would have put a GrindHaus shirt in there. It's an extra.
I would have bought a shirt from Fright Rags that was on sale and crappy and released it later.
Well, not crappy, but just on sale.
Not crappy, but I meant like not as cool as that one, I guess, is bad words.
Yeah. It's like, oh, here, we got you this shirt on thinner.
They do every now and then have I think it's $7 mystery package.
Oh.
So normally their shirts are in like the $23 range, $24 range. So I think it's 7 to 7. It used to be 7. They might have upped it. Maybe it's 10 now. I don't know, but
solid. But even $10,
fuck yeah. But
solid.
It's the mystery package, and you just pick your size, and I guess that's their way of getting rid of some of their stock that doesn't sell a little bit.
That'd be a pretty cool video.
But it's a good deal if you get something you like, because it's not just overstock; it's any of their shirts. So you could get a new shirt. It doesn't, certainly an old one, but it's a way for them.
And like you said, you pick your own size.
Yep.
So you're gonna get something that is gonna fit you. Yeah, I might check that out soon.
But it's special times of the year. It's not like an always thing that's up there.
Right, but if you just check with them like every couple weeks, you might see it.
Yeah, they have a good newsletter. I get stuff like weekly. They send you pictures of what's coming. They do a lot of series stuff, so they'll do like socks, pins, and shirts, like all like, as a series.
All related to a certain thing. Sometime, yeah. So they were really cool in reaching out to us, and they're like, definitely want to help you guys out. So they're helping us out. If you if you watched the last live stream, which was Thursday night, we had an awesome time talking to the fans and debating. And One thing I'm hung up on.
We had about 150 people or so coming in and out of that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, I know that's to like bigger streamers. That's not a lot, but for us, that's pretty good right
150 people in like an hour and a half, 2 hour stream in and out. And a good 10 or 12 of them like stayed through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even after we said the secret catchphrase, a lot of them stayed there. And the one thing I'm still hung up on is the Freddy versus Pinhead.
Pinhead wins.
We're going to actually have to do a serious debate on this sometime. Like, actually go do some research. We might have to call some outside help. I don't know. But it was a fun live stream, and we're going to be out again Thursday at 9, and we will be announcing the winner of the contest. So if you haven't entered, there's tons of ways you can do it. You go on our Facebook page, you find the post where we're doing the giveaway. You have to like and follow the page. You got to share the post, do a screenshot, send that to us to let us know you did it, and you're entered. You can also go give us a subscribe on YouTube. That's another entry. If you sign up on Patreon, you're automatically entered another 2 times. And if you send us the secret catchphrase from Thursday's episode, there's another entry.
Wasn't
literally,
Patreon 5 times?
It was. Yeah. Patreon at any price tag was 5 entries. That's right. So realistically, if you sign up $3-5 a month, on top of all those, you can enter into this contest like 10 times.
Yep.
I'm just saying it's a pretty good deal. Speaking of which,
and we got 2 exclusive Patreon videos series. So our Serial Killer Academy has gone over to Patreon exclusively right now. We might release it out to the public on YouTube eventually, but we're talking like months and months later. So we're undecided on that, but right now it's for you guys only.
And it's at any price point. It's not like you have to spend X amount of dollars to see it. All of our content on our Patreon page will be available to anyone who subscribes.
And we're doing our Star of the Week. Actor, actress, director, whatnot, and you're getting that at least 2 weeks in advance. We might up it to a month, but we're still working out. But that's going to be a Patreon exclusive early access video.
Yep.
So that's a bonus for that.
Our first episode, we covered Sigourney Weaver because when it fell, like the time that it came in, it was right on there, right near Alien Day.
Yes. We unfortunately didn't get it out when we wanted to, but close enough.
It's like,
at least it was still in that last week of April.
Yeah. And it's like these new series, the first episode, it's always going to be like a little hit or miss just until we get a format going. But now that we actually have a format, we can do these special person, actor, actress, these people of interest of the week. We can record them relatively quick and have them out, for people to enjoy. I don't have my list on me, but do we have the next person that we're doing?
Yes. I have the list written down here. You want to actually release that out?
I think we can at least let people know what it's gonna be.
All right, John Leguizamo is our next one.
Okay, that's what I thought. Obviously, if you've seen Spawn or Mario Brothers or The Pest, you're familiar with who this guy is.
We have 10 picked out already in that are set. We have 2 through 7 set, and then we have number 10, number 19, 20, and 25. We got to fill in some in there, but we're planning on doing this like way up there. It's not something that we're gonna half-ass on, but we got an order that we got going on.
Well, we also said for the bigger episodes, like for episode 10 and 20 and 25 and 50, we're going to do like bigger spotlight people. So that's why, like, when we would mention somebody, it's like, you know what, they deserve a little bit longer. They deserve so that's how we ended up jumping quite a few numbers.
We're like, that's a great one, but they should be at a higher number or a special number. So they jumped ahead.
So yeah, we do have the next 5 or 6 of ready to go. Though.
Yeah, the next up until number 7. So 2 through 7 are ready to go, and then after that we got to fill a couple in. Then we have 10, and then 15, and then 19, 20, and 25.
Yeah, by the time we get to 7, we'll probably have like another 20 ready to be picked out. They just have to be organized.
Then we have our next. We have this movie, and then we have 2 more picked.
Yup.
2 more already pre-picked. So we'll obviously get into our next one at the end of this.
Yep.
We'll let everyone know. We're not going to spoil that now, but we're starting to get a little more professional about this.
A little bit more prepared.
A little more
prepared. You know what? It makes things easier when you know what is coming up. And
yeah, Gore. No,
I was gonna say she can't, but she's not here to defend herself.
No.
And that's one of her biggest,
I'm just busting her balls. Just busting.
Oh
her
yeah,
balls.
no. But
because we know she's
going
to listen to this. So
exactly. And she's like, like sometimes I feel like I just have to be there just to make sure. It's like, no, we're not ragging on you, But
now I am.
Yeah, but it's cool though. It's cool because she's
No.
been better about it now that we have a schedule. She lets me know.
She's been
advance.
fantastic about things and doing great work. We're not saying she's doing crappy work. I don't want anyone to think that. We
Absolutely
just like
not.
to poke fun at each other every once in a while and have a little fun with it.
She
all
just
that was.
received that makeup kit from
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary, which is a pretty big makeup effects company. They make, everything from latexes and paints and, things like that. And she sent me over a video today for her next makeup, speed video or whatever. And it looks really good. So I want to give a thank you to the Bloody Mary company for sending us over that. She even sent over hand sanitizer.
And a
I
book.
thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, and a book.
And her book. Yeah, for Gore. Like a copy of her book. Yeah, it was pretty awesome of her.
Yeah. So thank you. I think her name's Bobby. I forget her last name because I didn't have the information. But her name is Bobby.
I just quickly looked at it. Yeah, I don't remember either.
But they do call her Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
That's the name of the company. If you are into makeup effects and stuff like that, check them out. I've actually used their products years ago. It's what I actually learned on, so I would recommend it to anybody who's interested. But you can also talk to Gore about that. She can fill you in way more than I can. Also, since we're doing the Serial Killers Academy as a different format now, pretty much like what we're doing here, but we're learning about Gore's Gallows will no longer be in the Serial Killers Academy. It will be its own standalone series, which will be on YouTube and Facebook.
Correct.
So if you guys are interested in these like little obscure mini cases, gotta check out Gore's Gallows. It's available. Her actual first episode as a standalone episode will be out later this week. So definitely make sure you check that out. The pick of the week will still be at the end of part 1 of our episodes. And then the kill of the week, a little different. It will be on its own. And if you're listening to this on our audio streaming services that we're on, Spotify, Apple, stuff like that, you will hear it in the episode part 2 somewhere. But if you're watching this video, you will not get it.
No, you just have to go click on it elsewhere. Fucking yawns.
Yeah,
God damn it. I don't know why I yawn so much when we do podcasts and I stream. I don't get it. It's not even like a tired thing.
I was going to chalk it up too because it's like usually late when we get going.
No,
but
even if it's during the day.
Stay up late.
Yeah, even if it's during the day. I was up till... I might have fucked up sleep schedule this week.
Yeah,
Slept
last week your sleep
PM
schedule was...
Today.
Dude.
But I didn't go to bed till like noon.
Jeez.
So I slept from noon to 6 p.m. I was up all night.
Because last week you actually had a good schedule. Like you were, on it, and you were up pretty early because you were going to bed. And then like 1 or 2 days this week, and it just puts it, in a shuffle.
One day off, and it just kept getting like an hour off every day for like 4 days, and next thing you know, I was up till fucking noon.
But if you can't sleep, you can't sleep. You know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. So, all these new adventures between, the YouTube stuff and our podcast stuff and the Facebook Live stuff, all you got to do is check out our social media accounts to be up to date with like a schedule. Basically, Mondays and Tuesdays we release part 1 and part 2 of our main podcast. But everything else is scheduled through like Facebook. So if you want to see what's happening on YouTube, but this is why you should follow and subscribe to our channels so you'll be notified when we put something up, because we have a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think. Is that it? Is it like for news-wise?
Yeah, it's news-wise. Just the usual stuff. Follow us here and there. Likes, comments. Fun stuff.
Yeah, share
Leave
the
us.
love.
Yeah. Make sure you share us out to your friends.
Yep, that's like the main thing we focus on is like word of mouth. Get enough people who are interested, and I think that's one of the reasons why we have such a great fan base, is because we all have like common friends, and we're all into the same stuff. Yeah. I do actually want to mention this app.
Oh wait, I know we mentioned. Hold on, we'll go into that in a second. I know we mentioned the video and all that stuff, but did we mention that this Thursday again we're going live? Did I go into that? Okay.
Yeah, because we're picking a winner.
So
of the
if we
contest.
start doing these live things more often, this is what I wanted to get into. I wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay.
If we start doing these live things more often, please go on our Facebook, on our YouTube, leave some comments of some talking points you want us to talk about. So this way, you come in and make sure we want you to come watch. So if we're talking about stuff you want to hear, we're guaranteed that you guys will listen to us. And it's just
like
better than us just throwing out everything that we like all the time. We want to do some stuff
Exactly.
that you guys do. Maybe we can do a little homework on it, because the last video, Gray and I are not like new horror fans mostly. So we got a lot of questions about these new horror movies, and we've seen barely any of them.
Well, thank God for Gore, because she does keep up with the new stuff.
She does.
But, yeah. There's such an awesome old catalog.
I know.
From like 70s to 90s, early 2000s.
And there's so much stuff that's more easily available now also. Yeah. That was a lot harder to find then. So there's still like gems that are older that are still finding. Like there's just so many. I prefer the older stuff. I'm old. Gray's getting there.
Not every movie makes it to the theaters. Mm-hmm. So you find this stuff, and people think, oh, well, it wasn't in theaters, it wasn't good. Dude, there's tons of movies out there. Like, look at the original Boondock Saints movie. Like, that thing did not do well when it first came out. But it's like a cult classic now.
This movie we're doing today didn't do well in the theaters. It had a theatrical release, and this movie is awesome. It's so good. It's so fun. So good. All right. Yeah, but that's all I want to get in on that. So we're good.
We were saying though, it's more fun when we're prepared because it flows better. So if
on
people
certain
start
things,
leaving us comments, if they start leaving us comments on YouTube or on Facebook about topics they want us to cover, when we go in the video, at least we'll have a little bit more of a readiness to talk about it.
Yeah,
but we still had fun.
No, we had a ton of fun. At least some like verse, like we did a lot of like. Monsters versus other monsters. Who would win? Slasher versus slasher. Go in there and that's our fun things. We did a couple. We're doing our top 4 lists.
Yep.
We see it as gold, silver, bronze, and runner up. That's why we chose 4. Most people do 10 or 20. 4, I think, is like unique to us. Yeah, we like 4. So if you want us to do a quick video or a live stream, leave us some ideas for top 4 lists that you would like to see. Obviously, the Patreon people, the Patreon family get a little more leeway and guaranteed stuff, but we're still new now, so we are definitely going to take ideas from anyone right now. As we grow and get bigger, we want to save that for our.
But even
everyone's a supporting, loyal fan, but our fans that actually give us money to go play, because this money is just going to our stream and for us to go places and conventions and stuff
or if for some reason my or his microphone blew up, at one point it wouldn't be an out-of-pocket expense. It would be the money that is for the podcast to replace or get
Gray desperately needs a PC. I'm tired of this Mac, iPhone, iPad Frankenstein, Frankenmac,
it's not a Franken
Franken Apple setups that we have with him. It's driving me insane.
You have the Franken app or the Franken computer.
No, I don't.
You built your computer out of all different parts. Mine came from the factory.
That's normally no, but you use an iPhone, an iPad, and a Mac, and kind of
true.
wire them together with dongles and cords and daisy chain things. When you could just have a PC like me, whether built by parts that are all supposed to go together, not with like special things.
I have the Sega 32X version of a computer, like the CD adapter and the top plate. But it works for now.
Yeah, it works, but it'd be a lot easier on us if you just had a PC.
Oh, and I kind of want a PC for another reason, though. But like, we'll get into that eventually. But
Gray,
the one
Gray
thing
wants
I did
to make fabulous porn with puppets.
I could do that now. That's not the only reason. But I was gonna say if we got to a certain size and our YouTube comment section blew up with us wanting to review a certain movie and nobody in Patreon voted for it, we will listen to the masses. Even if we get to a certain size, if enough people want us to do a review of The Notebook, like we're gonna do a review of The Notebook. You shake your head, but
we're not doing a review of The Notebook. I'm drawing the line.
You know what? That should be our October 31st episode.
Nope.
Just draw the Titanic or Notebook or
nope.
fucking Brokeback Mountain.
Drawing the line.
So, basically, we just want to let you guys know that we appreciate everything you guys do, whether you guys support us, monetarily, or you come into the live streams, or even if you just listen or watch at your own time. Maybe you don't have time to join us live, like Tanya. She lives in England. Every time we go live, I feel so damn bad. It's like 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning over there. But she watches all of our stuff after it's live. So, like, she's awesome, and we love you, and we wish you would eventually come to the States so we could actually hang out and do something. But if we ever make it over to England.
So, now that's on Slasher app?
Yes.
Real quick.
The Slasher app, I love it. I'm sorry, dude. Like, it is... if it was as big as Facebook, I would not even deal with Facebook. Honest to God. It is the social media app that is for fans of horror and sci-fi and B-movies and just everything that we love. It's a social media app specifically for people like that.
So what you're saying is, if we get big enough, we change the name to the GrindHaus on 42nd Street app.
Can we do that?
I mean, if we get big enough, we buy the app off them.
Well, let's keep this on the DL. I only write that down. But it's really cool because the founder and owner of that app reached out to me and wants to do an interview with us. And I was like, you know what? We'll have to set something up, but that might be pretty cool. I really enjoy your app. I wish, you could have video. And he's like, dude, we have tons of stuff coming to this app, especially for creators, filmmakers, podcasters. And he's like, if you're with me here in the beginning, because he started it back in August, and it's already pretty massive, but it's about to blow up. And any kind of support we can give this app and, this guy is much appreciated. So if you have a cell phone or any kind of mobile device, go download the Slasher app. It's just like making a Facebook page or whatever. You can put pictures and photos, comments, all that stuff. But definitely also listen for our interview whenever that comes up. Probably within the next week or so.
All right. All right, so 34 minutes in. We're finally going to start the movie. Hopefully I haven't lost many of you. You got through all that ranting and raving and fun hijinks.
Oh shit, I'm sorry, buddy. I wasn't expecting that. It's in there like D-Lo Brown.
All right. So,
all right.
Frankenhooker, 1990. Actually, I thought it was slightly older than that, but it wasn't. I thought it was like 87. I don't know why.
Well, was it filmed earlier and then just not released?
I don't know. But it's definitely got that 80s vibe to it, even though it's 1990.
Yeah.
But then
That's
again,
weird.
this is like, this guy didn't release too many films after Frankenhooker, so.
Right.
And then got out of the business and back. We're going to get into that. So, Frankenhooker, 1990, runtime 1 hour and 25 minutes. Average score on IMDb is a 6.2, gloriously underrated.
Yep.
It's a comedy, horror, sci-fi it's listed as. It was released June 1st, 1990, so summer release. Tagline. Well, my favorite tagline. There was a bunch of them. I don't know how many were actual, but a terrifying tale of sluts and bolts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
It's
I
not,
like that.
but it's not the first one that I saw. The first one I saw was she's hot, she's sexy, and she's sutured to please.
See, I didn't even see that one listed anywhere.
Yeah, it's not as good.
No. It's too long. I mean, sometimes long ones be good, but I don't feel like it's clever enough.
Yeah, no, I feel like that was thrown
Yeah.
together from like an agency
Yeah.
who had like
Yeah.
a brief preview of the movie.
There was one that said it's a stitch.
See, that's lazy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Like that's, I mean, like a lot of them weren't like, they were like 2 or 3 words. Like that one actually, I thought a terrifying tale of sluts and bolts was like clever and witty and just, it was long enough to fill the bottom of a movie poster. You know what I mean? Instead
But
of
it's
just, like,
intriguing enough too, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It was clever, witty, can fill like just that little space on the bottom of a movie poster instead of like, a word or two. So
I still think Killer Clowns has like the best tagline of any fucking
well,
movie.
it's ripping off a movie, but yeah, it's still good.
Yeah.
In space, no one can hear you eat ice cream.
Classic.
Mm-hmm. So, anyway, for the rated R version, several scenes containing nudity were trimmed. Not less than 21 scenes were affected, and the unrated version runs nearly 2 minutes longer than the R-rated cut, which is just 2 minutes. Really? They're such sticklers for shit back then. The fucking MPAA and the like Screen Actors Guild type are just fucking cocksuckers.
Yeah.
They really are jerk offs.
It's weird though because like 2 minutes of footage, if you broke it down in, let's say, I don't know, 8 scenes or 10 scenes, it's literally 10, 12 seconds each. And if you've watched the regular version of this, like there's nudity throughout the entire thing. So what is the difference of having a few extra scenes at a short?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to come into play a little further later, like a little later in our talk about this. Like, there's some things that break down a little bit more of why things were cut and stuff, and it's just dumb. But so the budget was conflicting a little bit. So the film cost about $1.5 million, making it Henry Lauder's most expensive film at the time. But there were still budgetary issues, and then it says there's a budget was $2.5 million estimated.
Okay.
So I also
That might
read
be
that
with
elsewhere.
advertising and
No, that's none of that stuff's advertised.
that's
It's just-
strictly production.
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah, when you
Christ.
read IMDb and other things, that's just straight up
$2.5
budget.
million though, I believe
Yeah.
$1 million, but
Yeah, 1.5, and you gotta remember it's filmed in New York. Everything's a little more expensive there.
yeah,
I don't know, but so it had a theatrical release, and it grossed. Guess the number. I mean, you probably already know it, but
no, I haven't.
You
I
didn't see it?
re-
Okay.
Let me. Opening weekend, like just the first 3 days.
no, total gross.
Oh, total.
Yeah, total gross.
It had a budget of let's say 1 to 2 million. I would say
Just say 2. We'll just
500
break it in the middle.
Okay, at 2 million, we'll say like $500,000 to $600,000, because I know it didn't do great in theaters.
$205,000.
Christ Almighty! That's probably why the guy didn't do anything after this for a while.
$205,068. That's what it says exactly.
Man, that's sad.
And then it says the cumulative worldwide gross is $205,068 because I don't think it got released elsewhere.
Oh man.
Yeah. It just, but I mean, it's a huge cult classic. I'm sure a lot of you that watch this or listening to this right now already know about this movie. But then again, there's going to be a bunch of you that don't. So I
Yeah.
don't think Gray knew
Well,
about this, right?
no, I heard of it, but
Yeah.
I treated it like a joke.
Did
Like,
Gore know
yeah,
about
it's
it?
one of.
I don't even think she did.
Yes,
She? I wasn't
but
sure.
I don't think she'd seen it.
Yeah, she just knew of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, also, what you don't, a lot of people don't incorporate is like, how much money did this thing
Really
make
itchy.
in VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray? So, like, maybe the thing just made its money back like last year, but it doesn't justify spending
Yeah.
that kind of money for such a little return. You know?
This actually has a pretty sweet. I'm gonna get into that later. VHS release when it first came out.
Really?
Yeah, something.
Okay.
Gotta keep the eyes out for. I think. But anyway, all right. So
Oh.
there really isn't any actors or actresses that should be sponsored that I think. Like no one really
No.
did much besides this movie. Like some people, like got the usual role here and there. Maybe did like 30 things overall, but most people did like 3 or 4 things after this, if that. So there's no one really going
Yeah.
to that. So I do want to get into director and writer and then the co-writer a little bit because they're a little more prominent. So our director writer is Frank Henenlotter. I don't know how to fucking say his name, but that's
Henenlotter.
Henenlotter. Yeah. No, that was close enough.
No, yeah, that's
yeah,
weird.
Yeah. So
Was that German?
yeah, I don't know. So we'll just call him Frank. He was born
Thank God.
August 29th, 1950 in New York City. He gleefully misspent his youth watching a large array of blithely cheap and cheesy low-budget exploitation flicks in various seedy grindhouse theaters on Manhattan's 42nd Street, which is where we got our name. Yep.
Honestly, real quick.
No, go ahead.
I know
Go
we
with
do-
it. Go with it. Go with it.
We only mentioned this the other day for like maybe 10 minutes, but one of my new goals with this whole thing is eventually to make a movie. Like, it's actually Wolfman's idea,
You
'cause I
want to
said
talk
I
about
wanted-
this? Yeah, this was solely my idea on accident, and he ran with it a little bit.
Because I said I think it'd be cool to make a movie. That's all. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, we should make a movie. And he's like, yeah, we could travel back in time and like we want to go see Cannibal Holocaust in a
or
grindhouse.
just one of our favorite, like a movie.
Well, that was the
yeah,
example he used,
yeah.
and then like my eyes just like he didn't even see it. It was through text, but my eyes were like a cartoon.
Yeah.
It was like
It's like our version of Harold and Kumar or Jay and Silent Bob is what we use because I'm very much like Silent Bob, even though I talk, and he's very Jay-like in personality. He's very outgoing and probably would show his balls to people.
oh whatever balls.
No, but
But
like because Jay's the whole naked thing.
Yeah,
with him.
oh yeah. But then I had the idea. I was like, you know what? So we're in the future, or we're in the present, and I come up like, dude, there's this movie, and it was only ever shown in the Grindhouse one weekend. It never got released. It got lost, and we have to find a way to get back in the past and get it, whatever. And
You mean the
I'm
back
not
of
going
the
to tell you
Grindhouse
how
of our
we get
movie
back.
theater, filming it.
What is it?
Be in the back of the Grindhouse, filming it bootleg style.
And then the movie would just be him being like, okay, so how do we get back? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, I'm staying. And it's a great movie idea. So directed by Joe Franz, obviously.
Joe Franz,
You-
Rob
you-
Zombie. We had a bunch of Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah, we did.
We were
Kevin
like,
Smith.
there's a bunch of people that would totally probably do this movie if it was like
So-
legitimately backed by money and we had a good script.
5 years from now, if you actually see this thing coming out, this will be the episode you can go back to when you first heard the pitch.
Yeah, it was.
We would just need a good name.
May,
we would need a
May
name.
3rd,
They would have
2020 is when we're recording this.
Okay, just keep that in
Yeah.
mind. It would have to be like Wolfman and Gray.
I don't know. We'll figure that's
Yeah, but
hold on
anyways,
there. Working
that-
title: Wolfman and Gray. Go back in time.
But that brought
Wolfman
that
and Gray's
popped
Excellent
in my
Adventure.
mind hearing about this.
Yeah. Working title: Wolfman and Gray's Excellent Adventure.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
get our asses sued.
because we made a joke. Someone was our Rufus. Who did we say was our Rufus?
Oh, we did say
I made a joke and I forgot who it was already.
God damn it. And it worked so perfectly.
It was bad and terrible, but like was funny. I forget. All right, whatever. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, we'll get back to it.
All right, so
What? No, we'll leave it as a surprise.
Yeah.
We won't tell them.
So he began making 8mm films as a teenager. His 16mm black and white short Slash of the Knife in 1972 actually played at a 42nd Street Grindhouse midnight show with John Waters' Pink Flamingos in 1972. He briefly worked as a commercial artist and graphic designer prior to embarking on a career as a filmmaker, which is why there's so much time between 72 and 82 when his first actual movie came out.
Right.
Frank's pictures were distinguished by their offbeat plots, cheerful lowbrow humor, excessive gore, and perversively sordid atmosphere. He went on to make cult classics like Basket Case in 82, Basket Case 2 in 1990, Basket Case 3 in 1991, and Brain Damage in 1988. He's done other stuff, but there was a big chunk of time where he didn't do anything, and he slowly got back into stuff. He made a couple documentaries about Grindhouse flicks. I read something where him and his brother do something with getting Grindhouse movies on DVD also. There's a few people who went into about that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go too crazy into it because it gets off topic in a way. It's not we're totally breaking down this guy's life, but I thought that was
I think it's
worth
cool that he's
mentioning.
doing something that I could see us doing. If we got big in the future, that we would totally try saving as many of these movies as possible.
So he has an issue with Mystery Science Theater 3000. He actually, I don't know if they parodied one of his movies or wanted to, but has an issue with them, which is probably part of the reason why he didn't make more movies also. He seems like the type of guy that can get upset, and he's like, I make my movies funny already. I don't need other people making jokes and telling me how I should have made my jokes, or I don't know, whatever. He seems to be one of those New York City artsy types. But anyway, no, go ahead.
No, but the movies that he's making, Basket Case and Frankenhooker, yes, there is a lot of humor to them. They're very like he knows what he's making.
Yeah. So
obviously, if a critic saw this and they tore it apart, he can't get mad because he knows what he's making.
Yeah.
But why are you gonna get mad at a group of guys who riff on movies? It doesn't make sense.
So, but on being labeled a horror film director, he said, "I never felt that I made horror films. I always felt that I made exploitation films. Exploitation films have an attitude more than anything else, an attitude that you don't find with mainstream Hollywood productions. They're a little ruder, a little raunchier. They deal with material people don't usually touch on, whether it's sex, drugs, or rock and roll." I thought you'd like that quote, so I threw that in there, which explains more his attitude.
Here the whole time. I'm just sitting
I couldn't see your reaction, but I figured, But I figured that was
true.
Yeah.
Exploitation movies, they tend to focus on a lot of stuff that people wouldn't touch. And there's like nun-sploitation, where like there's a bunch of movies about like nuns who would get all hot and heavy. You just pick the topic.
It's exploitation on it. It's like going on Reddit.
Yeah.
If you can think of it, there's a Reddit page dedicated to it somewhere.
Yep. And that's why I love them, and I wanted to include some of them in our. When people ask like the movies we do, I was like horror, sci-fi, B movies, exploitation, cult movies. It seems like. Do you ever think we're actually going to do an actual like blockbuster like Michael? Will there ever be a Grindhouse review of like Transformers or Avatar?
No. I think there's enough films
see the need.
that we don't need, and I want to bring light to some of these other. I mean, yeah, we're gonna do like bigger quote blockbuster like horror like movies that were big that turned out, but
Halloween, Texas Chainsaw,
but they didn't start out that they got big. They weren't meant to be big. Or I don't think we're going to do anything that meant to be big. Maybe if we do Planet Terror and Death Proof, like we talked about, but they were purposely meant to be big because of who made them. But they were filmed in the Grindhouse style, though, almost literally, because they put the film grain and everything, made fake fucked up trailers. Like they went above and beyond, So
But then
that might
also
be
when
like,
we talk about like the Friday the 13th or
yeah,
Nightmare on Elm Street, everyone, oh, but they're so well known. Yeah, but they were the first,
yeah,
and that's
and
why
and
they're
they
well
grew
known.
into what they became.
Right.
Freddy vs.
So I think,
Jason was a blockbuster movie, but
yep,
it was nothing in the beginning. Both those series were just these little campy slasher horrors.
no hope of
I mean,
actually even.
Jason wasn't even a thing in the first one, technically, when when it
Yeah,
started.
yeah.
Like, yeah, he's at the end. Spoiler, but
Yeah, I think enough times
yeah,
passed
yeah.
where
In a dream where he jumps out of the water and grabs a girl. But I
if
know, I just
someone
like
tuned
saying that
out,
because it's funny and it's like satire. I
if
say
somebody
like
tuned out right
satire.
now, it was like, motherfucker, I'm not
Motherfucker,
listening to them anymore. They ruined Friday the 13th
that would
for
make
me.
my day. If I ruined your day because I spoiled that for you, let me know.
Oh. The end of Titanic, the boat sinks as well.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert. All right,
Oh
so
boy.
now the co-writer Robert Martin, I thought was also an interesting story, and I went into him a little bit. Like I said, since we don't really have any cast,
Right.
unfortunately, so he was the original editor of Fangoria, the magazine of horror and an exploitation film.
Oh.
Yeah, Martin. What words?
He wrote Geek Maggot Bingo.
Robert Martin.
Yeah.
So there was. Is that a magazine? Is that what is that?
No, it is a movie,
All right.
and it looks like it was shot in a basement, all
Yeah.
one location.
So you know what it is?
Cardboard cutouts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
No. So you know what it is though. I saw something,
yeah.
but him and Frank they wrote 2 screenplays together, but they didn't say what they were necessarily. So I'm wondering if
Okay.
Frankenhooker was considered one of them, and he did Basket Case 3 with him. So I'm wondering, or if
Okay.
they were separate screenplays and never met. Anyway, so let me get back into.
Right.
So Martin steered the publication from 79 to 86, the slasher film like boom years for Fangoria.
Yep.
Martin's so-called acting was a byproduct of his career as a journalist and included a prominent role as the wheelchair-bound geek in Madhouse, the first video made by the band Anthrax, who were Fangoria readers, and directed by Amos Poe. So that
No
was him.
shit.
So that was fun little. In 1994, Martin, under the name Ed Flixman, became editor of the Sci-Fi Entertainment, the official magazine of the Sci-Fi Channel, and continued in that capacity through October of '96. He had some disagreements and whatnot, and he ended up like getting out of there and kind of fell flat on his face, according to the stuff I read. I mean, I can't say he fell flat on his. He's was out of Hollywood and is a blackjack dealer as of 2006 in Vegas.
Well, not a terrible career.
No.
Blackjack dealers,
They make some good money, but compared to like, it seemed
where
like
he was and what he was doing.
seemed like he had such a prominent. He could have had a prominent rise and been someone huge at one point in time, and then through, being at odds and ends with people, he moved from New York to Los Angeles at one point with the sci-fi thing, and it seemed like things just didn't go his way, and bad luck happens, and the same thing with Frank. Like it seemed like with some of the movies he made, he was going to go on and make all these great movies, and then I don't know if he got pissed off or what, and just kind of dropped off. Off the scene, and then did some other stuff like 10, 12 years later or whatever it was, or 15 years later. I forget how many years, and got a couple things coming out soon, but not movies.
Maybe one day to sit down and do a breakdown and see actually what happened, or even if we were able to score an interview with them, that'd be pretty cool. Just to see from their point of view, what their thoughts are on it.
So now I'm gonna go over some trivia about the movie. Some of it's like partial spoilers, but it's nothing crazy. We're not like we're going over some like secret movie that's like crazy twist endings and whatnot,
Right.
I guess there is a twist ending a little bit at the end of this, but it's not going to go into that. But you know what I mean? Like, there's a couple things that reference scenes that we're going to talk about, but it's not anything that's whatever. So, like I said earlier, the film, according to this quote, the film took 12 years to make and cost $1.5 million making. That could have been also why it was so high too, a little more than usual. If it did take a long time, that would get the money up. So it was but there was budgetary issues. The producers told him they had used up all the allotted funds for the pyrotechnics during the exploding hookers scene, to which he replied, "How the fuck am I going to film the lab scene after?" He ended up calling in a favor to do some unlicensed pyrotechnics for the shoot. Lawrence recalls the guy finishing up the setup and telling him, don't worry, it's maybe safe.
Well, I mean, listen.
When you see the scene, there was nothing crazy, but it was enough to, someone could have lost a finger, if they were too close.
This is the beauty of what I call guerrilla filmmaking.
Yeah.
No permits, no nothing like no one's an expert. Everyone's like a jack of all trades. It's like, yeah, I know a little bit about
I know a guy, yeah.
Yeah. And God, that could have been so bad.
Yeah, because you can see how that scene could have been cost a lot of money if they went officially. They'd have to have police around, fire, bomb experts, like whatever, because they're still using explosives, like whatever, and then just be like, I know a guy, he can get it done. Like, we'll shoot it, shoot it in the night. So, now, on the box, see, I don't know, I used to own this movie, I don't remember if I still do, that's what bothers me.
You probably do, but you got so many damn movies, you couldn't find it.
Yeah, it just bothers me. I think it was one of the ones I had on VHS that I lost.
Oh,
but it wasn't.
Sucks. You had a VHS copy of this?
It wasn't the one I'm going to talk about later. Unfortunately, well, I didn't lose. I gave a lot of my VHSs away.
What he was saying is he gave a lot of his VHS tapes away. But he had a massive collection, like what you see in his DVDs. At one point, he had a VHS collection.
I had a good like 200 VHSs, like the match. I mean, it was like early, when I first started collecting, and a lot of stuff is rare, and some of the stuff you can't get on DVD anymore. And I was dumb because I moved like 8 million times in my life, and that stuff is just so heavy to carry around. Anyway, so
yeah,
I remember on the box that this was on there, but I didn't know the story behind it. So Bill Murray was quoted as saying, "If you see one movie this year, it should be Frankenhooker."
Yes.
I got the dog running around behind me now, so sorry. So, Henrenlotter said that Murray had been editing his film Quick Change and hung out with the Frankenhooker crew. So after Murray expressed interest in their film, the distributor attempted to get an endorsement from him. So embarrassed that they would assume Murray's friendliness, Henrenlotter attempted to avoid Murray, and then he eventually ran into each other. Henrenlotter apologized and explained that he was not responsible, and satisfied with the explanation, Murray volunteered a quotation. So I thought that was pretty nice of him.
Yeah, and I hear mixed stuff about Bill Murray in Hollywood. Some people say he's an asshole, but like everything I've seen or like from accounts, he always seems to be like a decent person.
But the thing is too, though, just because I say something doesn't mean you have the right to go throw it on your box cover.
Oh no, absolutely.
Which would, if you're as famous as Bill Murray, could make you look bad or whatever. Just you had whatever. I get it, but since he liked the movie and it was he was satisfied with his apology, everything was good. So. So there's lots of rubber body parts and mannequins and other stuff in this movie and whatnot. Henrenlotter gave out fake breasts as parting gifts at the end of the film's production, and he signed them. And then to this day, no one has seen them up on eBay yet. Whoever posted this quote. So that's something to look for. Look for Frankenhooker boobs on eBay that are signed by Henrenlotter.
Yeah, but you know what? I wonder if they're not on eBay because at one point they were already sold before eBay was a thing.
Yeah, but I'm sure someone out there is gonna like get rid of their collection, so that would be like something that's a sought after collectible. I'm sure
there was a lot of rubber boobs in that movie, so there's got to be a few of them out there.
This was Henrenlotter's first SAG film. That's a Screen Actors Guild film, meaning He was using actors that were members of the guild. He ran into some trouble as the girls the guild was sending were not inclined to do nudity, or in quotes, or you didn't want them to do nudity, he added. Basically, there were just some ugly women, I guess.
Yeah.
So, it just makes me laugh when I read this. So he went to Billy's Topless Bar, because I'm sure Billy's Topless Bar now has some primo women. I guess the girls are really not that bad looking in this movie, but I would expect the Screen Actors Guild to send over some like decent looking women. But if he's saying they're that ugly and he went to Billy's Topless Bar to find women, they must have been really ugly, or like not ones you wanted to see naked.
Yeah,
like legit hooker looking women, maybe. Like, I don't know.
Like they sent, like the Screen Actors Guild sent over like 40 Kathy Bates,
yeah,
and they're like, could we just get like one like fucking Kate Upton or something? Just like one.
Yeah. So he went to Billy's Topless Bar looking for girls instead, and a short while later he had several strippers signed on, each of them hired for specific degrees of nudity, and the SAG ended up making each of them their members.
So there's tons of ex-strippers out there right now who have their SAG card.
The SAG card.
Nice.
Where is it? I lost my... Too far. I scrolled too far and I lost my... All right. So the film ran into trouble when it went before the MPAA ratings board, which we sort of talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. And Henry Lauder recalls the head of the board, Richard Hefner, calling the production company and saying, "Congratulations, you're the first film rated S for shit." What an asshole. What a piece of shit. Producer James GrindHaus, he spells house like we spell GrindHaus, by the way.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Haus at the end. Fought back and brought the feud public. The MPAA ultimately gave the film an X rating. Inexplicably, they refused it and released their film unrated instead, which is probably another reason why they made such little money, because they couldn't get it at the mainstream movie theaters.
Now, just real quick about
go ahead.
The rating system. Basically, if you were to get an X or an NC-17 in later years,
that would be like the equivalent noun, yeah.
Yeah. You would essentially be limiting the audience that could see it, because some theaters, they say they will not put out anything harder than an R. And some of the movie theaters that do put out something that is an X or NC-17, they're specifically known, basically your old GrindHaus stuff. But then you had features that were unrated, and there was GrindHouses that weren't even touching unrated films, because word would get out that not just that these movies were so dark or so brutal, but they were actually so shitty that they weren't worth a single rating. So the GrindHouses were like, dude, we're not going to show it if it's garbage, which is weird because Geek Maggot Bingo did make it in the fucking GrindHaus theaters, and that is awful. Like, literally. But then with like the parental advisory thing, when all that shit was happening, there was a lot of filmmakers who wanted to start getting that X rating, because it then became a movie that you like had to see.
Tipper Gore and all those women actually made metal and rap sell more albums than they would have normally when they were trying to get them blocked from kids. They actually dumb fucked up.
Yep. And
they definitely screwed up with that.
Al Gore was actually on that board too. And if you've ever seen him and Dee Snider go at it, it's pretty funny.
Dee Snider's an underratedly smart guy.
Very
intelligent
smart.
And very good with his words.
Well-spoken.
Yeah, very articulate with his words. Something we're not.
Well,
no, I'm just joking.
I'm just joking. But the movie companies took cue from that and said, you know what? These records are selling like hotcakes because people want it because of that little sticker. So then they were trying to get the X, and the MPAA actually switched to NC-17 because X was delegated to pornography only.
And then it's where XXX came out. Yep. Like the XXX was worse than regular X. Like X was almost like softcore at that point. Like,
and there is double X, which
it's usually before
I know
the L
these all
on
from.
Shirts.
No, basically, single X is Skinamax, double X is penetration, and triple X is like, it's the good stuff.
Full on
basically.
porno.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so moving on, we're still kind of talking about that. They eventually cut an R-rated film to market in addition to the unrated, and one of the trims needed to secure the R rating was to limit the exploding prostitutes to 6 from the uncut version's total of. Can you guess?
I actually know what this one is, and I think it's ridiculous.
7.
7.
They wanted them one less exploding prostitute. Like, really?
Hey,
Like, what the fucking point? You already exploded 6 of them. What's one more? Like, I don't get. These people are just fucking cunts. It's just plain and simple.
It's the weirdest workaround rules that they have, and they're very specific. And you think, well, what is it? What is the reasoning? And they'll never give it to you. They'll just say, no, it's just what we want.
They're basically just a bunch of fucking grumpy douchebags that are power hungry and want control over everything. And the MPA does nothing useful at all. They do nothing useful at all.
Jason 7 suffered from
6,
MPAA.
7, 8,
6,
all
7,
of them. Fucking 10.
Pretty much anything after
Freddy's
5.
dead. Yeah, even those ones suffered, but not as bad. Because the effects got better later on, and that's why in the series.
Yes, they did.
Even though they were still good then, it's just they got more elaborate with their deaths. So they got cut.
Yeah.
So, this was never meant to be a horror film, says Henry Lauder. Apparently, he received complaints that the film is so bloodyless, but he dismisses the complainers because he set out to make a comedy. Which he basically, this is like a black comedy with horror roots of it's like a parody of Frankenstein in a way.
Right.
You
okay.
know, it's not meant to be like a scary horror film, you know, I guess it was different then. You know, what we consider horror, there's such a wide variety now. Then it was a little smaller, you know,
a little more niche
yeah,
crowd.
Yeah, like horror was like slashers and murdering stuff and
Well,
you know, there wasn't like some paranormal stuff like The Exorcist and stuff, but it's not like it is now, you know? It's such a wide variety.
Yeah, and I think what it is now is there's so many subcategories. Because like there's obviously comedies that are horror. There's thrillers that
comedies,
are horror.
Yeah. Suspense thrillers, horror suspense, survival horror, like whatever you want. Like just all sorts of genres.
I just think back then they didn't not have the knowledge, but I just don't think there was enough movies in categories that would deserve their own category. And then sometimes a movie has to come out and make a category for other movies to follow in. So, possibly.
So, Frankenhooker was released on VHS in 1990 by the Shapiro-Glickenhaus Entertainment. And they had an interactive box which had the character exclaim, "Want a date?" Because she says that a lot later in the movie. We get into that when you press the button on the box.
What?
Yeah. So this is like the special limited VHS that's got a. I know you're gonna Google this shit right now, aren't you?
I just want to see. I just want to see if it's on eBay.
Yeah.
Just read one more if you can.
That's it. That's it. That's all I got.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wait till the end.
I just thought that was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
It's got to be one of the first interactive boxes that I can think of, you know, that they tried to do something. I'm sure there was some others, but that I can recall.
Guess how much?
How much? I don't know. A couple $100?
No, actually.
No.
$128.
Oh, so it's like in the middle almost. That's like.
Probably because it wasn't
expensive.
a super popular movie, but it is a rare version of it.
And I'm assuming one that's in like working order.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it works or not.
You know, or at least the box isn't trashed.
Right, yeah, at least you could tell what's there, yeah. That's so cool, man. I would never guess this VHS of this obscure movie would have that kind of box, you know. That's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, I got mine in a like one of those Blockbuster deals for like $3 back in the day.
Okay.
So
Was it the original box art or was it the rental box?
it was like the original. Like they sold a lot of them in the original. They weren't like the. It actually had the cover and everything. So yeah,
Okay.
but they were
Okay.
beat
Cool.
up though. You know what I mean? Because they were sitting on the shelf in
They get
front of
handled
everything. They
and
get
tossed
Yeah, it
around.
wasn't like pristine. I would say it's in like good condition. There's good,
Okay.
very good, and like excellent, and then 10. It was like between good and very good somewhere. You know what I mean? It was like a. I'd give it like a
Like an
6.
average
Yeah, I
copy.
give it like a 6, maybe 7. It was cool enough to like. I got it for $3. I'm not going to complain. There was nothing wrong with the tape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that was one of the ones like.
That's crazy, man. I wish you could find that thing.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I had a couple. I had like Terror Tunes, like, and some other like weird. There was that one Freaked. That's actually a lot of money now. It's with the kid with the
Freak.
sideshow, and he's all like deformed, and I think it's Australian. If you
Okay.
saw the thing,
The box art.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
I'd probably
limited.
recognize it.
There was a limited Blu-ray run of them, and I think they sell for like $100, $200, somewhere around there.
Jeez. Okay.
It's just one of those rare movies. I had it on VHS. That
Yeah, I
you
would
don't
like
think.
to start.
Yeah.
I would like to start picking up some more VHS player. I mentioned in our Eric Welsh interview that my TV actually doesn't have a coax input and it doesn't have RCA. It's all USB and HDMI. So I would actually have to have a specific TV
Well, you can
just
get a
to have a
converter box.
VCR convert to what, HDMI?
Yeah,
Okay.
they make them.
So that might be the
Yeah.
route to go then.
But that's why Gore got me this.
Yeah.
The death.
VHS to
Yeah,
that.
VHS till death shirt, which is pretty cool.
It's honestly, it's not a bad format. I would recommend anybody who wants to get into VHS collecting, get yourself a separate rewinder.
Yeah,
because
don't use
they're much faster, and you can start another movie while it rewinds.
Well, not even that.
Don't
Like,
be like
the ones inside have a tendency to break and eat videos because they're not made to be. They're not made to be doing it like all the time. So they always had problems with them.
The option's there for playback if you miss something and you want to rewind for a couple seconds, but to actually rewind the entire video,
Puts major wear and tear on the whole system where that rewinder
Yeah.
is literally made just to rewind tapes.
Yep, safely.
Yeah.
So if that is something you guys are interested in, go get yourself, like, they're cheap on eBay. Get yourself a cheap rewinder box, put it right next to your VHS, and some VHS are expensive, but they're not like vinyl, where they started reprinting vinyl recently and they're fucking expensive.
Yeah.
You can still get good deals on VHS tapes.
There are companies that are releasing VHS of their movies again. Some smaller indie companies. Just like they tried to bring back cassette tapes briefly, like maybe like 7 years ago. And
Yeah.
it didn't really. Like there was a little bit collectors-ness of it.
I'm not a huge fan of audio on cassette.
I'm not. I mean, I have fond memories because I was a cassette era. When I grew up, and there are some stuff that had on cassette that I ruined and got rid of with my VHSs that were literally only on cassette, or there were limited prints and stuff that I had and whatnot. So unfortunately, I don't have that. I was that idiot that grabbed all my CD covers and all my cassette covers and would like staple them to my ceiling or like. So like I had rows and rows of just everything on my ceiling, but it ended up ruining a lot of stuff that was.
Well, yeah, because
low
what would
print.
you do with the empty cases afterward?
Yeah, I've actually I still have a ton of CDs. Oh, excuse me, but a lot of them are missing the covers because they got ruined, and they had to get thrown out, and
Yeah, that sucks.
yeah.
Actually, I do want to say a buddy of mine a few years ago, back in 2012 now, passed away. His name was Steve Murray. And rest in peace, Steve. You're a good guy. We played in bands together. He was a singer of a band that I was in. Then I became a singer and guitar player, and he played drums. But we were friends for a long time. When he died, his daughter went through his stuff, and she gave me a box of cassette tapes, like Guns N' Roses and Anthrax and Slayer. So I have all these cassette tapes still with all these awesome bands, but I don't have anything to play them on. So they just sit on my shelf waiting.
That sucks.
I just want to toss it out there.
That sucks.
Yeah, but it's cool. I've never even, like, Anthrax on cassette, because he was a huge Anthrax fan. There's like 4 different ones in there. So maybe one day I'll get an old boombox. Do you remember the Bazooka boombox? The boombox that was like a...
Yeah.
I'd like to get one of those
You
specifically
gotta go
for
like
tapes.
80s style and just get the square.
That would be
fucking
cool too, but a
rectangle.
lot of those don't work.
I know,
Like, you
I know.
gotta
They're not
send
the
them
quality's not as good, but yeah, I know you're talking about the Bazooka box.
Yeah,
You had like
JVC,
a fucking
I think.
strap and shit, like
Yeah.
carry it around, like
The subwoofers on the end.
on each end, and yeah, it's just big.
I like the sound. I thought
yeah,
they
it sounded great. Yeah, it's a lot of batteries. Hope it has an AC cord.
Yeah, 12D batteries. Ladies
play
and
for
gentlemen,
6
I
hours
think-
and.
How much?
I said it'll play for 6 hours and you need 12 more D batteries.
Yeah. Oh, dude, as soon as the CD was done playing, you didn't let it sit. You had to turn that fucker off. You want to make sure, because batteries are expensive, you know? But yeah, we used to have a lot of good memories, especially with that boombox, because that's when I was like BMX riding and skateboarding, and you go to a spot and you set it down. But it had the CD player, and it didn't have the anti-shock thing, so like every bump you hit, like it would take you 20 minutes to hear one song that's supposed to be a 3-minute song, because it would keep fucking skipping. Yeah. MP3, it's the easiest way to go now.
Pretty much.
Do we have anything else production-wise?
No, that's it. I mean, that's all I could dig up, without going crazy. But
Right.
that was a good amount.
Well,
we filled a good chunk of time there.
Oh yeah, I think you guys already know the spiel. Before we get into part 2, make sure you check us out: Patreon, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Slasher. Now
All the places. Leave comments. Let us know what you want to see. Ideas. Yada yada yada. You know the idea.
Yeah, interact with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Gray,
I'm Wolfman.
and this is part 2. Someone said something the other night, and it fucked with me because they said Frankenweenie,
Yeah.
and now I have to catch myself every time I'm about to say this movie because, like, obviously Frankenstein is like the one that's embedded in everybody's head. Frankenstein. You hear Franken, you probably don't think.
I know Frankenweenie. I've seen it, but I don't ever get confused by him.
Yeah, but it's a play off of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I know, but
I just want to make sure I get it right.
They're so
You know what I mean?
different that it doesn't even faze me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think of frankincense. I don't think of Frankenweenie or Frankenhooker. I think of Frankenstein. But I can see why they called this movie what they did. Do you think, or how close of a representation of is this movie of Frankenstein?
Well, the very basics of it are pretty spot on, I think.
Yeah.
Mad scientist, dead body, sews pieces together, the whole like raise into the clouds, the whole
Chaos ensues and all that.
Yeah. Angry New Yorkers.
Yep. But I think that's what this movie has going for it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
'Cause
I mean, even the name Shelley is named after Mary Shelley.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a complete throwback.
Well, you know what? I'll save it for after the breakdown, because I did give a little bit of thought after I watched this movie, like personal reflection time.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about that at the end. If you're just tuning in, part 1 was released yesterday. It was our breakdown, all of our basic news that we don't really have to go into now, but just go support us on Patreon, Facebook, YouTube, all of our social media platforms. We have the contest going on. Make sure you check Facebook for that. We ended the last episode with Gore's pick of the week, which was Tammy and the T-Rex.
And if you're a movie elitist, it's Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex.
Yeah, the original uncut version. I mean, I didn't think that movie even qualified to have an extended cut, but
It
fuck, I
does.
guess they
It
all
does.
do.
It's the Paul Walker cut.
Yeah. Fuck.
Um,
And then we will have the kill of the week in the audio version of this. So if you're listening to us on Spotify or any of our other audio streaming platforms, you will hear the kill of the week here. But if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching this, the kill of the week will be separate from the video. So you can still go on our pages and find it. It just won't be in the middle of this episode.
correct.
So, without further ado,
All right, but real quick, we have to go over our format for this one because it's a little different than the other ones.
Oh, right.
So normally, obviously, we watch the movies, but we'll usually read like a synopsis about the movie and break it down like that. Sometimes we do notes, but it depends on how much time we have during the week. If there's no synopsis, I'll sit there and do notes. Hence why the Killer Clowns episode went so long, is because I basically wrote that out like crazy, and then
Yeah.
our Hills Have Eyes one went a little long because that was another one we wrote out by hand and went over things that and everything. There really isn't one for this, and we didn't have time this week with everything going on, so we are going to do it as a kind of a watch party setup. We're going to watch it and kind of fast forward through things and go over the movie scene by scene. So you can queue up with us if you like. We are basically starting right in the beginning as he's looking at the eyeball.
Yeah, it's about 20 seconds, 21 seconds in.
Well, it's going to be different on a DVD.
Right, yeah. If you're watching this online or the streaming or whatever. Now, there might be moments where we pause something if we're talking about it. There might be scenes that are not worth talking about that we will skip over. But basically, if you were to watch this movie and you turned off the audio and you were listening to us, you can get a gist of where we are.
We're trying to do it as like a commentary track, sort of, going over it, is what we're getting at.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not going to be for the entire movie. There's going to be stuff we skip. But there's also going to be stuff that we talk about a little bit more in length than the actual scene is of the movie. So it'll even out.
Yeah. So you could watch this beforehand and then come back and listen to us talk about it as a commentary track. Or you can just watch it now or just listen to us talk about it in general. It's up to you.
Yeah. If some people listen to our breakdowns and then they decide if they actually want to watch the movie or not. Obviously, spoiler alert, we break down the entire movie beginning to end. So if you listen to it and then you want to go watch it, it's just because you enjoyed what we talked about enough that you'd want to check it out, and I think that's cool.
And this one is worth checking out. It has some fun, practical, low-budget effects in this.
Yeah. And mostly acted coherently. I'm not going to say well.
Yeah.
But it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not like one of those movies where you turn off and be like, oh my god, I can't stand the acting right now. It's just so atrocious. Like, there's nothing in that. I mean, it's acted bad. It's like a B movie, but it's not...
It's not like The Room or Birdemic or anything like that. Sharknado 4.
Tammy and the T-Rex. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I was gonna let you do it, but...
No, no. Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. So we're at the part right when it's a close-up of the eye, and let's hit play. So what you see is kind of like a camera view. Looks like this little TV, and you see our main character here trying to interact with this brain eye Krang
It's supposed to be a throwback to The Brain That Wouldn't Die, I think it was, in 1962. If I didn't butcher the title off memory.
No, that's it. The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
It's pretty good. So it's not responding, and so what he does is he sticks a scalpel in the brain. It's based on some actual medical logic that you can get some areas of the brain to react by kind of prodding at them, I guess you can say.
It's like basic lobotomy science.
Well, he said he didn't want to lobotomize it. It's
right,
it's similar but different. So he
you're
got this
interacting with nerve endings.
Yeah. He got this thing to respond by sticking a scalpel in its brain. Now it's actually following him around, and it's got some sort of camera built into it because he's robotics, I guess, engineer.
Yeah.
Am I the only one thinking this lady is also too young to be like playing this girl's mother?
Definitely too young to be the mom.
Yeah.
But you see that during all of his experimentation, there's an actual party going on, because as the camera pans outside in a nice follow shot, you see the tents and the balloons, and they're celebrating the father's birthday. He's over at the grill. He's barbecuing.
And this takes place in... They changed the name, but it's supposed to be like Hoboken, New Jersey. It's in North Jersey. The accents are all here. The fucking people, the style, the way they dress, it's all atrocious and horrible and makes me want to vomit. Like,
well, you were there for this time period, so...
I was 10. Yeah, I was around. I seen it.
Yeah, you remember.
I remember it.
And here you got the girlfriend talking to another one of her friends. Surprisingly, this guy actually has a girlfriend.
She's in a fat suit right now. They're trying to make her like look fat and whatnot, but she's very pretty.
Oh yeah,
like he's batshit crazy, and they gave him. She was actually a Penthouse pet of July of '86.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's kind of like in Ice Cream Man when they just stuff that pillow underneath that kid's shirt.
Yeah, they totally did that in this.
Exactly. Like nothing on the face, no prosthetic, nothing like that. And she's talking about having her stomach stapled by her boyfriend, who's like not a doctor, like never went to med school.
He did go to medical school. He's been kicked out 3 times.
Okay.
They talk about that. Like he's a genius. He's like almost too smart for his own good. You know, he's a bioelectrical savant, I guess.
But he never graduated any of those colleges.
No, he kept getting kicked out probably because he wants to do crazy shit like he's doing now. With the eyeball and the camera and the brain eye. It's like this weird thing going on.
Yeah.
So it started acting up, and he hit it with a hammer. It lit on fire and basically kind of crapped out on him right now.
But at least you could see that the girlfriend and him have some decent interaction. You know, it's...
she loves him. He loves her.
I would have never guessed that he would have a girlfriend like that. Honest to God. Like, just his character, especially throughout the movie, how he acts and talks, I would have never guessed. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
that guy has a girlfriend and I don't.
I'm laughing at the pillows as in her butt,
Yeah.
like whole midsection, the whole hip area is just hilarious when she was getting up. Just the lining of they're literally pillows stuffed in there. It's so bad, so bad.
But we do find out that it's his father's birthday.
Yeah.
And the girlfriend's uncovering a gift that was built by his son. And it's like a brand new homemade lawnmower. But
remote controlled lawnmower.
Right. And it's got the remote control and it has different settings like this.
Now,
button turns
it looks like
on.
a snowmobile all fucking souped up. And then not snowmobile, a snowblower.
Oh, snowblower, yeah.
All souped up. But it's got the old style rotary blades of like the push mower. I guess they were electric versions of that too, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they were garbage.
Yeah. And now she's trying to show her father how to work it, and she's an idiot, and she basically gets herself run over by the lawnmower.
Yeah.
And
even though the boyfriend says,
tragically.
"Hey, don't stand in front of that," you know, and we get this awesome hot pink lettering for the opening credits.
Yeah, there's some blood splatter. They don't really show. They don't show what's going on. They leave it to speculation. Now we get like our Frankenhooker thing. It's very electric, going all over the place, and it's pretty awesome. Now this drawing is crazy.
Yeah, I'm fast forwarding till about 8.5 minutes in because it's just credits.
Yeah,
but
well,
eventually they zoom
I want
out
to talk about
of
this drawing
picture.
just for like 1 second, though. You can pause it where you're.
8:23.
Yeah. So this picture, as you're going in here, is a super detailed drawing of the human skeletal and muscle system, and then over it is legitimate schematics. Now, whether they work or not, but he's using legitimate transistor, resistor, voltage, like the way he's drawing the schematics about how each little area he would implant stuff into this body to make it animated. Is what
Oh
they're
yeah,
drawing
no, somebody
here.
definitely took their time drawing this
Yeah,
out
yeah.
and writing all these notes and stuff like that.
But as a
Then there,
mechanic, I've seen schematics for cars that look like this. Like it's like real electrical
yeah.
engineer drawing. It's not like someone just scribbled on here like all these squiggles and little boxes and relays
no,
and
there's
switches.
actual
They all
mathematic formulation and stuff like that.
well, there's no mathematics in here. It's just all like all those symbols stand for a
Oh
different
no,
type of.
if you go, I don't want to go too far in, but like if you go to the outside edge of where he was writing, it looks like he was keeping notes on the paper.
Yeah, and
that's
I'm
where,
just
like,
talking
you
about
see,
this basic where he's drawing all the lines because they're all circuits connecting to each other.
Yeah, they all
and
have
stuff.
little
Yeah,
squiggle, and that means like active and.
no, the squiggles is a resistor or a transistor depending on how it squiggles where it goes to, because you're turning
Oh,
the
I thought it was
voltages.
just active
No,
wiring.
no. Those are all symbols that mean something. So all that squiggle goes in and it's gonna turn the voltage into amperage, or vice versa to change different to get different reactions.
Actually, I've seen pedal boards, guitar pedal boards, people who build from the ground up.
Yeah.
And their schematics kind of look
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
too,
yeah.
because they use a little
You
tubes
deal
and
with,
stuff
with
like
the
that.
tubes. You have different amperages and you have resistors and relays and switch areas and dotted lines are different types of current compared to solid lines and the other circuit. Yeah, it's just a really cool drawing. It's worth like checking out. So all right, so you're what's that?
Actually, I was wondering if anyone still had it. I actually went to 1019 because the entire time he's sitting there, all he's doing is doing like your basic exposition of, oh, when I can get the parts to build you. Like, it's just,
yeah. And then this is when he gets he pulls that videotape he has hidden in a book of like the accident scene. It's pretty bloody and
Did
gory.
you see what the book was?
No, I didn't pay attention to the name of it.
Grey's Anatomy.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice little medical hint there.
Yes.
Puts in the little tape cassette, and it is a news report from, I guess, the day that her death happened. And it was done like super cheesily. Like they kept making these like birthday puns and just shit like that.
Yeah,
Like if this was a real
much.
newscast, this lady would have been fired.
Well, then they reveal that the head went missing, and then that this is basically couldn't put the body together because all the pieces are like all over the place.
Yeah,
They just called it a
unaccounted
jigsaw
for.
puzzle. Yeah.
Yep. And I don't, like I said, I know it's a movie, but usually a detective would not be giving this type of information live on TV.
Yeah, pretty much. Wouldn't happen
We don't
like
know
that.
where the head went, but everything else seems to be okay. They did interview him. The tape shows that the news anchor tried to interview him or tried to get an interview out of him. He's like, I don't know where the head went. What are you asking me for? I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Just seems like you're more worried about the missing parts than, just leave me alone, whatever. And so then you skip ahead a little bit. Almost at the 13-minute part, his mom comes in and she's talking to him, and he was like, "You got to move on." The girl at the grocery store keeps asking about you, and basically it's kind of messed up. She's trying to like push him off onto someone already because you don't know. But then again, we don't know how long it's passed. I'm assuming it hasn't been too long though, that it's still fresh.
Yeah. It's got to be.
They don't say.
Soon.
Yeah, on the top of that picture, he has a picture of her head, like on top of that schematic thing, and he's like, "You need to find someone to move on," and he's like, "That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make someone," and it's setting up for later, and you see like the little brain eye thing in the fish tank. He's just kind of swimming around, and everyone just thinks it's normal of his stuff that's going on. They think he's like a genius and it's normal. But I don't know about you, but if I knew someone that had a little brain thing with an eye floating around, like animated, I don't know if I want to be friends with them. I'd be very cautious about my friendship with them because you might end up that brain thing one day.
But I would be more interested in trying to get this guy, like, dude, like, this is a breakthrough in science. We need to get you to a place where, you know what I mean? You have a brain with an eyeball that follows eyesight. I mean, you know, but they're just treating it like it's a goldfish. Like, oh, that's cool.
So basically, you get more backstory about him too. Like he works with a power company. And he's, you know, we learned that a little bit earlier. We kind of skipped over it, but we hear more about it now, how he got thrown out of medical school multiple times. And he's super smart, which is why he knows about all this electricity stuff, why he's into the bioengineering. Because it's actually a legitimate thing. Like, you know, I have a pause. I'm not going through. I mean, I guess I couldn't have it go through right now. But Elon Musk is trying to do this thing where they implant chips in your brain and you can interact with like the internet just by thinking right now. And you have people putting chips in their arms that work like
I do know about that
cash thing, like all sorts of crazy stuff going on. So this is like a legitimate thing, not necessarily the way he's going over
they've
it,
had these ideas since the 70s.
Yeah.
But like the way it's represented here, obviously, and what we're going through today, a lot of, and I noticed that with a lot of sci-fi writers, they have thoughts on things that are realistically within grasp that can happen in the future, and it tends to come true usually. Even Star Trek in the 60s, they were doing it with like their cell phone things and stuff, you know. Now, I went and I jumped a little bit, but you see him leave the house and he goes to the trunk of his car.
That's actually where I just jumped to, too, inadvertently. That's kind of funny. We're right. Yeah, you see the property of New Jersey Electric, and he grabbed something out of the trunk, and he's bringing it to his garage right now.
Yep, and then when he gets in the garage, this is when you see, like, the kind of, I don't want to say generic, but basically your mad scientist lab with, like, the dry ice in certain bowls, and they're smoking, and the different, like, electric prongs and stuff like that. And he opens up a chest freezer, and it's filled with, like, this, like, purple, like, liquid. I don't know what it is.
He called it estrogen blood mix or whatever.
Okay.
Which is how he's keeping the
head still somewhat
head and
active.
Body parts later, like, in one piece. Now that's basically a joke and a giant spark plug right there. If you notice, that's what he pulls out of his car.
Yeah,
it's not a real thing, but it just looks, it's like a prop giant spark plug.
Like a comical, yeah. But then he pulls the head out of the chest freezer, and then all of a sudden it cuts to a nice, quiet dinner scene with a severed head and a couple random body parts sitting on the table, and him wearing his like suit and tie, and
No, he gives her wine. Do you notice that? And then there's like looks like it drips out the neck, and there's just a big wine stain on the doily, on the tablecloth. But then he's like eating pizza. It's supposed to be this fancy dinner, but I mean, I guess that's a fancy dinner to Rob. You know, he's the pizza man, so hooray.
Pizza can be fancy as shit, man.
Yeah.
But this isn't. This is like New York style regular pizza. He starts showing this dead inanimate head pictures of basically like naked women with her picture as the head. He's like, "Oh, what? Look at the breast on this one. They're so symmetrical. You don't like this one?" And there's no response because the head's not alive. It's literally a decapitated fucking head.
He's definitely losing his mind.
Yeah.
He's going crazy. He's snapped, basically.
I'm sorry. I just think it's outrageous.
Oh, it is. It's so outrageous. It's a candlelight dinner with wine and shitty sliced regular pizza.
And a severed head.
Well,
now, I will say, just because this guy's going through a lot and he's legitimately probably crazy, does not mean he's like dumb, because he is like you said earlier, like too smart for his own good.
This is what happens with a lot of our serial killers that we cover, and just in general,
Yeah.
like they're too smart for their own good, and they're a little off their rocker, and they don't know how to use their smarts properly.
Now, what are you at minute-wise? I'm at 22. 22 and a half, actually.
I'm at 21, but I'll jump up.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
It's just
going
more
on until...
more schematic stuff he's going over, trying to figure things out in his head. So
He has the TV
22 and a half is
playing.
a TV on, and then the fuck, orange slice juice went down the wrong throat hole there. The weather guy was talking about how it's going to storm really bad tonight, and it's perfect for you mad doctors out there. You know, it's foreshadowing for, and it's done really bad. He's like laughing.
It's cheesy.
Yeah, he's like laughing in that like mad scientist maniacal. Yeah. So he's got his drill. He's got his bowling ball bag full of. I guess it's bowling ball and other random drill bits, which I don't know why they're in there, but yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know.
But yeah, it looks like he has the drill bits.
He's got this idea he can't
extractor
think
ones.
and he can't like kind of sit straight. So we're going back to the beginning when he did that little thing with the brain. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't need drugs. I don't need booze. He's like, I just need to focus and stimulate. So now he's going to drill his head. And this turns into a thing like a lot in the movie where he drills his head to kind of focus.
Like multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. And he's got all these pins mapped out on a thing, and the numbers of what does where. So if he drills in a certain spot, he can focus. Like, he's way off the charts now, and obviously he just doesn't even flinch, like it doesn't even hurt, because I don't know about you, but if you drilled into my head,
there's no blood.
No.
There's nothing. So it's like this guy literally must do this all the time to be able to stick this drill bit anywhere in his head, and he stimulates thoughts. And as he's drilling, he's saying like all these ideas, like,
well, it's like he
break into
supercharges him and he focuses. And I wonder if he's done this before or if it's something new. You know what I mean? It's weird. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he went to the exact spot he needed to go. It makes
me
feel
he looks
like
around.
He's done
he looks
this.
around. You know, like on the thing, he knows, and then he's gonna do it again. And it makes actually a fucked up sound. Like you hear it like kind of crunch in a little. At least the first one did more than it is a little bit here, and it's like almost a cringy sound. If you had it on like a nice copy of this and it had a good sound remaster, it would definitely be one of those where people would be like, ugh, that sound like.
Sound design is very important when it comes to movies like this. But he does get an idea from drilling his brain.
Yes, he's like, I can go over to New York and go steal body parts. I can find the perfect woman.
I don't know about the perfect woman, but they're there, yeah.
Well, for his thing.
For his needs.
Yeah.
Now, I'm at 25:49, and you see him driving this looks to be like an old LTD or something, not quite sure, but like the old cop car looking cars, big old sedan.
No, it's not a cop car look. It's little different. It's a lot more rounded. The cop car were a little more boxy.
But it's right, but it's not like a brand new car.
No.
You can tell it's got some age on it.
Yeah. It's a 70s sedan, long, big boat of a shitbox.
Yeah, like I had a 77 LTD, and that thing, the hood was like 6 foot long on its own. I couldn't believe it.
So he's cruising around. He sees all these hookers.
Looks like he's approaching near 42nd Street.
Well, they showed it earlier. They showed Times Square.
Yeah.
Like the old Times Square, not what it looks like now.
Yeah, not the gentrified version.
No. This might have been right before they started trying to change all that in 1990. You know what I mean? Like fully started like getting everything all renovated.
Like Yeah. So yeah, it probably was right when they were doing all that stuff. 42nd Street was one of like the last streets to actually get cleaned up. It was about like 97, 98 before like 85% of the theaters were closed down or bought out by different, you know what I mean? But in this movie, 42nd Street is still alive and well. And every little side street he's driving down, he's seeing ladies of the night, if you will.
So now he's talking to one and trying to make a deal. And you got some boobies. They're pretty nice.
Yeah.
She pops them out.
They're B+. Mm-hmm. I mean, not cups. I'm saying like rating. They're bigger than B. They're probably like C. But they're nice. But she's setting up some kind of a deal.
Yeah. She saw like how much money he whipped out. He had like thousands of dollars, and he's like, boom, like, let me in the car. I want your money now. She's like all about it. And so now she's like whistling this girl over, and she's now walking over all seductively and stupidly in a way. It's like, who would like walk over to the car? She would just walk over, and it's like this. We're gonna get the Rob walk. I don't know. No justice. Hers is way better.
I can't walk in place like that.
So the girl that he originally talks to, she kind of has a Marissa Tomei kind of look to her a little bit. I guess it's that typical North Jersey, New York kind of. You know what I mean?
Marissa Tomei is pushing it though.
No, you've seen her back.
Yes,
in the 80s, like
it's like the 80s version of the East Coast Valley girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They all look like that. They all look like that. It's not.
I thought you were saying her appearance, like her.
No,
she doesn't look like.
No. This the hairstyle, the look, like the whatever. I'm just using it.
That was
a name that people would. No, that's what I said. She's got that Marissa Tomei look to her. That's what I said.
Yeah, I know, but when you said that, I thought you were trying to compare her actual look to Marissa Tomei. That's why I was like, Marissa Tomei is like much hotter than this girl. And I'm not saying this girl's ugly.
Back in the 80s, especially when she's like starting out, like she does look very similar to this though.
Maybe like dark hair. I don't know.
She's a little darker hair, slightly darker. Trust me, she looks very.
I'm thinking my cousin Vinny.
Yeah, but
it's like Vinny, I don't think she looks like that.
You got to go past that.
Before that, you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know what else she was in before that. That's like my first memory.
Like commercials and other stuff and modeling, and they all have that. I'm not saying she's a dead ringer for her, but like she's pretty close. What's that?
Did you make it to inside the club yet?
Where he's walking through the hallway to meet Zorro?
Did you see the girl on stage before he made it back there?
No, I was talking to you, and
it looks like someone got their local lunch lady to.
Is that the lady that was arm wrestling everyone?
No, not her. God, I'm glad she's not naked in this movie. No, it's like this redheaded lady. As I skipped through and not skip through, but I could see you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's probably like a real. What you really would see in these type of places compared to some of the girls they're showing us.
Yeah.
Even though these girls were from an actual place, but
you can't say there's a lack of authenticity.
This guy's amazing though. Zorro. He like the outfit they give him, his look, he's fucking jacked. Like he's exactly what I would picture a pimp being. But yet, I know they weren't all like that, but I'm sure there was a few of them like him. Like with his
I feel
gold,
like this would be
chains.
Like WWS version of a pimp, like in the early 90s. Not The Godfather.
Yeah. Then he's got these weird cast of characters around him. They're all smoking crack. Like, this crack was the thing in the 80s and the 90s. Like, because it's definitely based off 80s culture, even though it was made in 90s more, but...
Well, and like you said, it took them 12 years to make, so the whole 80s was, went through.
I mean, even the 90s was huge too, but it was more of a ghetto thing in the 90s than it was like an actual white person thing, like it was in the 80s, or everyone,
like a party
everyone thing, crack and cocaine like go hand in hand together.
I will say, I'm paused right now over at 3208. I do want to say the actor who plays Zorro is fucking awful.
Oh, he is an awful actor, but I'm saying his look and everything is...
I think he looks really good. Yeah. And I think that's the only reason he got the job is because, like, the slick back hair, the tan, the mustache, the build.
This guy could have been the bouncer for the place, and they just gave him a job, for all we know.
It's like, it's like, okay, you can't remember lines. And we would give you cue cards, but you don't know how to fucking read. So
there was someone in this film that actually needed cue cards because they were sick. And they
I did see that earlier.
Yeah.
But this guy is beyond, like, just some of his line delivery. It's almost like Trolls 2. Like, oh my God, they're eating her. Oh my God, then they're going to eat me. Oh my God. Like, that's like some of his line delivery in this movie. It's that bad.
So, the first, like, hour, almost, like, just shy of an hour. Actually, well, maybe it's like 45 minutes. You're really just, like, it's all build-up of this. And it's hilarious because it's meant to be hilarious, but in subtle ways. You know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to be cheesy and funny. Like he said, he made it as a comedy. He knew what he was doing. He knew he made it, like, low budget and grimy and all the fun words you can think of, but it's just...
It has good writing, like good comedy writing.
Yeah. And the actors are crappy enough to where it's funny, but not crappy enough to where you just want to turn it off because it's terrible. You know?
Yeah.
They got that happy medium.
I think they were having fun with it.
Yeah.
So where are you at?
Well, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
I'm at 34:10 or 34. No, I'm sorry, 33:14. And if you look at that still frame, you know I have to say something about this.
33:14. We talking about the super crack.
When he's talking to Zorro pulls out the drugs.
Wait, you just said 34:14.
No, 33. I said 34, so I was like, no, 33:14.
Well, 33:14. There's no Zorro anymore. He's got.
I know. What I'm saying is,
okay.
At the last scene, Zorro pulled out a bag.
Oh, yeah.
And it was filled with all these crack vials. Mm-hmm. And Jeff was like, can I get that?
Yeah, because he's thinking, he's like, this stuff is killing them all. And he's like, they're already killing themselves. He's like, I don't have to murder anyone. He's trying to wipe his hands clean of it, basically. He's like, I just made this super crack. It'll just kill them quicker. You know, they're going to do it anyway. That's how he's trying to justify it. Yeah.
He synthesizes. And these crack rocks, I'm not saying go out and look at crack, but usually crack rocks are not the size of
these are the Guar crack rocks. You know, this is like the stuff that Guar uses, you know, on stage. They don't actually use crack. It's kind of the joking theme of the... Maybe at one point in time they actually did, because, I mean...
I believe
Dave Rocky died of heroin overdose, unfortunately, Otis Rungus. But yeah, sad. Yeah. Rest in peace, buddy. You know, sad. Like, but anyway, yeah. So he invents this super crack, and he goes to test it out on the rat. I think right is a rat, right?
Guinea pig.
Guinea pig. I guess that's the joke. The guinea pig. Yeah.
Of course. And he actually does it. He heats up the crack in like a number 10. You know.
Well, he starts losing his mind a little bit again. He starts seeing his girlfriend on TV and Zorro pushing her around, and he does a super long drill thing, and then we cut to about 35:16ish and going.
That's where I'm at.
Where he's heating up the super crack and pumping it in with like.
So it's in a. I was gonna say it's in a glass jar, but not a normal one. Like, you know how there's like number 10 cans at restaurants, and they're the big cans.
Yeah.
Well, this is like the gallon glass jar that you
would
get like sweet peppers and olives.
Yeah. Or people go into bars and they see like the pickled eggs and the pickled like, you know, pig's feet and stuff like.
Yeah.
In these giant gallon. Yeah, the weird shit in these giant jars.
So he has this, and it's filled with this major synthetic crack, and he starts heating it up, and he starts billowing the fucking
I couldn't think of the word for the billow.
And the little tube's going in the guinea pig's cage, and he's talking to it, and he's just like slowly pumping it in, and you see the smoke. The guinea pig wants nothing to do with it. Like, he's backed up in a corner. I laughed out loud when this happened.
Yeah, I just rewound it again and watched.
Too. I saw you jump on my screen when it happened.
Inadvertently, because I was trying to pause it at. So right after that, they show a little New York skyscape scene, and you see the Twin Towers, the old like whatever, and it's now he's in his suit and he's gonna go pay for his party now, basically, and give them. He's gonna pick his girl, and but they stop and there's this like neon sign, and I wanted to read it. That's what I was trying to look at, and it's the the sultry arms. I guess I thought it was the slut or something like whatever. I'm like, oh damn. I'm like damn, the slut. But it's the sultry arms. It's not as fun I was hoping it would be. I thought it'd be like
a play on words or something.
Yeah, something. Because there is one earlier when they go in the one bar. It's Spanish, and like it's talking about like the eggs or the huevos or some whatever, but like in slang terms, talking about the bar has balls or whatever, like or this bar has balls. Yeah, the bar was
called Grande Huevos, which in Spanish means large eggs.
Yeah,
but a lot of Hispanic people call their balls huevos. Yeah, so basically they just call their bar big balls. Ooh, shit. Now, the girl that approaches him, she's like, what, like head hooker? She's like bottom bitch?
Yeah, she's like Zoro's like number one, basically. Okay. Right hand girl, I guess. So, but the key thing is now is like you got to pay attention to the lines of all these girls because it comes back later. Yeah. Like in the play, and she's introducing him as she's like, all right, hey girls, this is Jersey Boy. He's a doctor. He's got a special rate, yada yada yada. He's gonna. I think he says it originally that he's setting up a party for his brother who's sick and he wants to do a beauty contest. So he wants to rate all their body parts now. So he starts measuring. He's got the little the head reflector thing for the light when doctors like kind of it helps shine light into where they're looking. Before I guess they made like little spotlights. The old.
Yeah,
it's just going over all the hookers. There's various different points of nudity here.
Oh, dude, there's the one scene where they literally hold up a magnifying glass to someone's
right nipple. Now. It's on my screen.
You're there?
Yeah.
Okay.
3754. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
he's like awesome. He's like, bloop, bloop.
Yep, he just pokes it in. He's like, ooh, the buoyancy.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know what that?
He's like looking at this one girl's foot. And he's like, gout free, yeah.
That thing on his head. You know what it looks like? It looks like they took a pizza cutter off the handle and then just strapped it to a belt. It literally looks like a pizza cutter. He's measuring their tits with like the little hook things that you would measure someone's scalp with.
They actually has a millimeter measurement on it, I think. Like on there, yeah. It's like a micrometer type setup.
Okay.
He just put a check mark on some girl's ass.
Check mark on.
Like it's just a very funny scene. It's hard to explain this scene. It's just funny. You got to watch it the way they're doing it. It's very comical. Back later,
yeah. When you see Frankenhooker or whatever, when you see her ass, it has the check mark. So
does it have the check mark on it? I know it has the tattoo on the one arm or the burn. Yep. He has his brand. Yeah.
Yeah, the Z or whatever.
Here he comes. Here's Zorro in his muscle shirt and MC Hammer pants. His gold chains.
He's talking to the guy at the reception desk at the hotel or whatever. And it seems like the girls are getting bored. They're ready to leave. But he said that he couldn't make a decision right now, which is like weird because like you just did all these tests. You got all these measurements and you can't just fucking pick one?
I mean, yeah, so they gave him all this free time, and he's allowed 30 minutes with one girl. That's it. Like, one girl. And I guess he's supposed to, after all these, pick the best of all the girls. And he's freaking out because he can't decide because there's so many choices. He's got to vary them all down. Like, this girl has the best legs. This one has the best boobs. This one has the best arms. This one has the best feet. So he's got to pick which one, like, overall fits his best that he wants. And so now he basically gets jumped by these women.
Well, wait. They said that they want their money. He's like, "Oh, go ahead. You have the money. Who cares about money?" So they're going in the bag. They get the envelope of money.
Yeah.
And then their faces light up. And
well, he's like, he's about to get jumped by these women, and he's like, "Fine, you want this money?" He's like, he gives this whole monologue speech, and they pull out this crazy amount of money, but then they find the super crack.
Fucking literally like a Breaking Bad bag, fucking size bag.
And they're like, the party ain't over, it's just about to begin, and they're all freaking out.
And he tries to grab it from him. He's like, no, you don't want that. And
because he was just going to give it to the one and kill her. He wasn't going to try to, he wasn't going to try to murder all of them because he knows what's going to happen. So this is basically the scene we were talking about earlier, because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 7 or 9. Yeah, there's about 9 of them roughly. Give or take 1 or 2. Maybe there's 8. Maybe there's 10. I don't know. I counted 9 real quick in the one I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was hard. It was hard to count there for a second. So now Zorro is getting really impatient. He's like wants to trash everything. The girls are all smoking the crack.
They all have their own stems.
Yeah.
They're all classy. They're not sharing stems.
No sharing stems.
He's warning them. He's like, no, don't smoke it. It'll kill you. Yeah, it's crack. Like, well, they know. Dude, when she gets that...
right now, the giant rock, she's like... Yeah, they're trying to stick this, like, baseball-size crack rock in this little stem, this one girl, and she's laughing and can't get it in. Say
this chapstick is the stem, right? They literally get a crack rock like this big.
Well, I have an orange, a little tangerine. They're like...
Yeah.
But so now the funny thing is they turn this song on, and it's like the song is something that's like hard to say no or something. Like the title of it, they wrote it for it. And it's like supposed to be a joke towards the girls with the crack. He's telling them like they have to say no and they can't. There's this whole like inner meaning. You would never know unless you.
No, but it's like this weird subliminal messaging, because it even says in the song, play this song backwards, and it's kind of cheesy, but they're all dancing. A lot of tits in this scene, rating from C to A pluses. There are some great tits in this scene.
The Asian girl is fantastic.
Yeah, she was good. Oh, not the girl flexing, though.
No. She's the ugly redhead one. She's got that weird...
The dark girl, she's got some okay tits. But there's one in particular, and I'm not going to
go back. The black girl has pretty nice boobs there, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But basically, if you want to see, like, an awesome bunch of tits from, like, 1990, this is the scene to go to. Not a lot of great asses in 1990.
Well, it's because it's shitty, weird bottoms.
Yeah.
Like, it's the way they're cut. It's like that high-waisted... It makes them give them, like, the mom ass or whatever. So now, like, all the girls are partying and making out, and he's, like... He's like freaking out the whole scene. It's just really funny. It's hilarious.
He's just telling him, don't smoke this. Now Zorro's getting pissed, and he's like, fuck it, I'm going to go upstairs and see what is taking so long. And as you see, like, he's being held down by a few of these girls.
Here's where the fun starts to happen,
smoking and dancing and partying. And then all of a sudden, the redheaded girl, she starts acting like she's, like, just took some bad shit. And the look on his eyes is like, oh, no.
Uh-oh. Yep. Remember that guinea pig, and he's like, "Oh no, she's gonna blow."
And then you can actually see the freeze frame where they paused it and put the fucking mannequin there. So she blows up. Everyone's freaking out, but they all smoked at the same time.
So let's talk about the mannequins though, because like they're made of like actual mannequins, but there are actual like limber rubber pieces, but some of them look pretty bad, but some of them look pretty good though. Like especially the body parts when they're by themselves. Like this is a fun shot of the severed leg going into the lamp. Like
what I'm actually gonna do right now, I'm at 4411 where the blonde's about to explode, and I'm putting it on 0.25 speed, super slow, and I just want to get the exact frame where it goes to the mannequin. And it goes to a close up of her chest, and she grabs her boobs, and boom.
There's one later that's probably good. No, because I can't look at it now. It'll mess up the camera.
No, I'm not gonna send it now. I'm just saying when we're all done, I'm sending you this
right before they cut the Zorro at like 44, 45 is another good one. One of the Asian girls, and she switches to a mannequin. like right there.
Yeah. I'm
like,
here now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. That was a pretty funny one. But if you notice, the mannequins are all in different positions when they explode, and it's literally like just fireworks. They're exploding from like fireworks, and there's like at that firework kind of spray, like Roman candle, sparks and Roman candles going off. Like it's definitely a fire hazard. You could definitely. This was not like we read earlier in our trivia. This was definitely not a sanctioned explosion scene because it wouldn't have been like this.
I would really hope that they filmed this on a set and not in an actual building because it's a complete fucking fire hazard.
Yeah, it's probably in a building. I wouldn't surprise me, but I appreciate the scene more. They filmed it like this than if it would have been professionally explosion done. I think it turned out better.
Yeah, it fits the movie. It fits
the movie. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of blood, if any, really. A couple severed limbs have it, but I feel like the blood if they tried to put it in this, would have fucked it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think the deaths would have stood out as much,
or been as funny.
Too much blood.
Yeah, or it would have been, or as funny as they are. Now, if they were to remake this movie, and someone did the scene, there's going to be blood everywhere, and it might work because it's done like modern wise, but I don't know if it would capture.
If they tried that then, I don't think it would have looked as good on film.
No, you can make it look good now, but I don't know if it captures the spirit of the scene, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I do want to say the last girl, the bottom bitch, she goes over and looks like she's going to finish off our boy Jeffrey while Zorro is pounding on the door. And as soon as she holds up her knife, it just explodes. The arm explodes first, but then the head explodes. Well, as the head explodes, or the head off the body, Zorro breaks in the door, and you can tell it's fake. And this fake head spiraling towards the camera, and then just fucking Bam Bam Bigelow flying headbutt right in Zorro's face.
And the best part about that is that probably could have, in real life, that probably would have actually knocked someone out, like a flying head at a good speed, because like they're not light, it's solid. The head, depending where you get hit, it's one of the hardest points on the body besides like the elbow. So
yeah,
definitely would have fucked him up. And then now he's getting up from the pile of all these hooker parts.
Just
limbs everywhere. It's so funny. You see the knife on the one arm stuck in the couch now, so you just see it hanging like.
But I haven't seen any full torsos. Like I've seen the arms and legs and shit, but in this clip I haven't seen any, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
boobs and chest and stuff.
Well, I'm sure they're in there buried. So he's also saying, he's like, I'm gonna put everyone back together. Everyone's gonna be fine. He's like, I just need a couple days. So if he thinks he's gonna, with his serum, get all these girls back together, and
he said he had to do his girlfriend first.
Yeah.
He's like, Elizabeth is first, obviously. But then you guys, I swear to God, I'll put all you back together.
So now he's trying to escape out the fire escape, and he's throwing all these bags of body parts, like, down the stairs and over the edge, and he's like making all these funny like expressions and stuff. And he's got like a leg that looks like the leg lamp from A Christmas Story because it has the stockings on, like the
stiletto and the stocking.
Oh man, it's such a good scene.
When it shows him pull up to his house and he stuffed everything in his trunk, but the trunk didn't close.
No. You see body parts hanging out of the trunk. Yeah. It's like,
you not get pulled over?
Yeah, especially because he had to drive from New York to New Jersey.
Oh my God!
Actually, the New York cops are probably like, he's cleaning up he's cleaning up New York. I don't care. Whatever, let him go.
Just a fucking another Tuesday.
Yeah. So then they're in his garage.
Yeah, we're at the Mad Works workshop, like with all the chains and the electrical supplies and this and that. He's wearing like an old school welder's mask.
Not old school. I still use them.
They still use that kind?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still common.
I know like the newer ones have like that self-dimming glass.
Yeah, but they still look like that though.
They still look. Oh yeah, the shape wise.
Yeah.
No, I was just going off the glass.
Yeah, but they still have glass like that and that big. That's still like the auto dimming glass is still. There are different sizes depending on your mask, but
yeah, like the last couple new ones that I've seen, they look like the glass is clear on the outside, and only when
No, I'm
light
talking like the
hits it.
shape and everything. Yeah, like
Oh
it'll be a
yeah,
little more.
shape-wise, I don't think.
They're
I
still
don't
they're
think
still
those maskets
tinted. They're
changed.
still tinted. They're not clear. Like
No,
not,
but
not
they're lighter.
they're lighter. Yeah, yeah. They're still tinted though. It's still like a base tint, and then they
Dude,
auto
the old
darken and
school
whatnot.
ones I looked in before, they are so fucking dark. Like if you don't have that torch, I don't know how you can see what the fuck you're
You can
doing.
barely
Like
see.
how
I used to
welders.
weld a little bit. I'm terrible at it, but
So what was your point of reference before the torch was
you
turned
literally
on?
have to like get everything set and then put it down, and you can like just barely see through it. It's really hard. You gotta have a good
Okay.
light source coming in,
Okay.
and it helps. Like, you know what I mean? Because the light source will brighten up the area, and then you can see through. Like if you just put the welding helmet on and tried to walk around your house, like
Yeah, that's. I tried to walk around the garage with it on. I'm like, dude, it is
it's
like pitch
really,
fucking
yeah,
black.
it's really hard to see. But you would, like, if you had a good light source coming down where you're about to work and you're just looking down at it, you can sort of see. So now
Okay.
he's rushing because of the storm to put all these parts together. So he's like, oh no, bunions. So he's got like a file. He's trying to file off bunions, and he's like, this hand's too messed up. This one's, burnt. This one's missing fingers. He's just tossing stuff, and he's like frantically working. It's
Putting like
yeah,
glue.
yeah,
Oh,
gluing.
then he's going through boobs, like a whole bin of boobs.
Yeah.
Just fucking. I guess these are the ones that the director signed and gave out.
Yeah, this head is so bad. It's like it's kind of weird because he's pulling this head out of that water, but somehow when he pulls it out of the water, it still looks dry, like at around like 50, 22 maybe,
Yeah.
or no,
I think
50, 17. He pulls up and it still looks dry. I'm like, what is going on?
You know how they did that? I can tell you right now. I just saw it. They played that in reverse.
Oh, it's like a reverse. They're dunking it
He
in.
put that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell by the frame rate because the wig is all dry as soon as it comes out of the
Yeah. So I'm
whatever
like,
that shit
yeah.
is.
It didn't. I was like, why would you play that in reverse? But I guess because it doesn't float. Because it floats. Just like now,
Yeah,
we see
he
everything.
wanted.
You have to actually pull it out, so they do it reverse. Yeah, I didn't think about that until we just saw them.
Yeah,
So now he
'cause
just
he
dumps.
tossed in-
Yeah, because he's dumping in all the random parts now.
but they're all floating.
Yeah, well,
'Cause they're
that's
all
why they don't
latex.
show you. Yeah, because they're all latex or actual plastic mannequin parts.
Yep,
Now that
yep.
one with like the bones sticking out of the meaty chunks could look really cool if they did like more work to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not as fake like right there, but
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
The props are good, actually. Honest to God, these props nowadays you would see props like this on like the haunted attractions you go to around Halloween. But like 30 years ago, they were some pretty solid props.
it's definitely a different head than he was using in all the other scenes with
Yeah,
her.
I was gonna say that
Yeah.
ain't the same head from earlier. I wonder what happened. Maybe the order they filmed this movie and they didn't have it or something like
Maybe
that.
that made it better. Yeah, I always found that weird that movies are never. It's very rare you get a movie that's filmed in order. I'm like, wow, like I never thought they film it like I guess sometimes they want to get the harder shots out of the way first, or maybe open up with some easier ones just to get in a roll of things, and then they do the harder ones, and then they'll end with the easy ones towards because everyone's fatigued like towards the end. They just want. So they do it out of
Say
order.
in this movie, there's 3 different parts of the movie where they end up at that bar.
Yeah, they want to film
They
everything
probably
in that
filled-
bar. Yeah.
They probably filmed all 3 of those parts within 2 days.
Yeah.
Even though they appear in the beginning, middle, and end of the movie because they don't want to have to break down and
Yeah.
shit like that.
But
what the
Well, I was gonna say,
No, go
even
ahead.
movies that don't have stuff like that are still all over the place. They will still film it out of order. You know what I mean? They wouldn't have to do something like you're just talking about now, and they still film it. It just like when I was
other
younger,
thing
my
is-
mind couldn't wrap around. I'm like, why would you not film it in order? It just doesn't make any sense. How does the movie go together right? You know what I mean? Like, but I guess
Yeah.
that's what
Well, and
storyboarding is for. You know what I mean?
So the other thing is like they say they have say 4 months to film, but they only have Tom Cruise
Yeah.
for 40 days.
Yeah.
So they do all of his stuff in the first 40 or whatever, and then they go and they do a lot of punch up. Now I think movies years ago used to be filmed in order, or at least somewhat in order, and that whole skipping the scenes is like somewhat within the last 25, 30 years of them doing it. I guess for reasons like this,
Yeah.
like,
So we should go into now. He's like setting up, getting the body in the air, and going through all his workshop here as we were talking about other stuff. I'm at like 53 and a half right now, but I mean, there was other stuff for about a good minute or two before that. We're setting up. It's a pretty cool looking set they made for their budget. You know what I mean? Like the set design was definitely on point with this. All the little gadgets, the way they did everything. Like there's a little bit of CG here, like with the sky, but it's not terrible. You know what I mean?
No.
It's still early day CG where it could have been really bad, but it wasn't too bad. It almost looked like they built a miniature at one point in time and then filmed that, but then you kind of sort of get this here where they're I guess that could still be a miniature. I don't know.
Well, the well, obviously it's a green screen going out the ceiling of the shed. But you know those little plasma balls you'd get at Spencer's and you put your hand on it? There was a few of those, but they were in tube form. And I thought that was cool because I've never seen them in a tube. And they were just hanging out in the background. They were never talked about. That's pretty cool attention to detail for a set. Like, this thing goes really high in the air.
This whole scene, like when they raise it up, looks really bad. But it's like, I also feel like you would notice this in the neighborhood. I don't know about you, but growing up in this Jersey area, everyone was like in everyone else's fucking business. Like someone would have called the cops on this guy for having something raise out, and it looks like a giant glowing rod right now. And so,
like a big old radio antenna.
So now this part is important. Like when he threw all the limbs into the little fridge thing there with the estrogen, the chest freezer with the estrogen blood plasma thing that he made. Everything is going haywire now because the lightning strikes are going all over his shop. I mean, it hit what it was supposed to, but now you see the chest is like glowing, like that pinkish purple color.
The chest or the lightning rod got struck, but it went all the way down the base, and then shit that's in the garage started getting...
Yeah, it got struck multiple times, a rod, and just started going down. And it's weird now, too, because she was laying down, strapped down, but now she's standing up when she comes down.
And there's no straps on the table.
Yes.
There's no metal.
Yep, there's nothing.
What? The fuck? What happened to continuity?
Yeah.
Come on.
So funny. But they got that big, giant turbine in the back. Like, he's been stealing parts from his work and building up all and he's got like a extra, I don't know, like an extra power line he's rigged where, he's getting all this extra power also from the city, and they don't even know it apparently. Now
they have the big unveil.
Yeah, the unveiling
where they pull the sheet off her, and her face is paint. She's wearing white face basically. Yeah. From her neck up is just straight up white paint.
I actually think her outfit type, the way they did her makeup and everything, is pretty good.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's iconic. I would say, if somebody saw a girl with this color wig and the top and bottom, they would know it's Frankenhooker.
No, but even just like the way they did the face was all white, and then she had the stitching around her neck, and then she had the sutures on like her elbows, like you know what I mean, like on the different, the different area, like. Just the way they did it was really cool. It didn't look too fake, but still looked good. Like even when if you pause it at 56:47, there's gonna be a ton of women out there. They're gonna be like, I want those shoes now. Because they're Frankenstein, typical, platform shoes.
Platform.
But you'll see.
I will say
no, but you'll see a scar on her ankle. Like they even went to the detail, even in this shot here, to show that her ankle and foot is from a different.
Yeah, they're literally stitched together. Before that, though, when he took off the blanket, and this is what you were referring to.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I was going to get that in a second. Yeah.
He asks her, "Is like, hey, can you hear me?" And the first thing she starts spouting out is, "Oh, you got any money?
Yeah.
Oh, you looking for a good time?
Looking for a date?"
Like basically, everything that those hookers said in that hotel room is now coming out of her mouth.
Now, she isn't really an actress. Not, she really hasn't done anything. This is probably her only movie, but she does an excellent job with this character. It's hilarious. Like her mannerisms, her moving, her facial expressions, all going on. So this is where the movie really moves on, because we're at like almost an hour in. We're just shy of an hour in, and we only got another
24 minutes left, or
yeah,
so, 22 minutes.
yeah, something like that. Because you got to figure credits and stuff. You know?
Credits and stuff, yeah.
So you're looking at about 25 minutes. We'll just say 25 minutes left in the movie.
I will say, she barely resembles the actress from the beginning, like who gets hit by the lawnmower, because that's who the actress is.
Yes. No fat suits. No fat suit.
And you look at her here, you would not tell that they are the same actress.
Well, in the face you can.
Well, yeah, from look. But I'm saying from actual acting, you wouldn't tell. Because I think as the girlfriend, I think she was a shitty actor. But as the Frankenhooker, I think
awesome.
she's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. She makes it on the subway.
She does. Well, she just did her first face walking out of the driveway. Yeah, just like
the fucking Sylvester Stallone's having a stroke, guys.
Hey, yo, hey.
This is why we needed video this whole time, so we can make fucking sly faces at each other.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
Jim Carrey did a good Sylvester Stallone. I think it was on In Living Color. So she
you
makes
want
it
to
to
take
the
on
subway.
Machine Gun Joe, huh? You can't.
Hey, Rocky, look, I'm porking it. When he's punching the meat.
I was doing like Death Race. Oh, this is funny.
Oh,
no,
Death Race. Okay.
You want to take on Machine Gun Joe? Come on, bring it. But this scene's funny though when he gets on the subway and with the kid with the backpack and he like slides on his lap because like he's staring at her boobs and he's trying to hide his boner. Like
Yeah.
and he's like, Well, he's and
So
where
are you at?
Well, he's now waking up on the floor because she knocked him out when she asked where he had no money. Or she's like, "Do you have any money?" He's like, "No." So she was like, "Whap!" Just pimp slapped his ass. And he's trying to figure out where she
wakes
is.
Up,
yeah.
And he's looking. He runs out to his front yard. He looks left and right. He's like,
but I'm gonna skip ahead though.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna skip ahead just a minute to 59:30.
Okay, honestly, I'm at 59:50, but I know where you're at.
Yeah, because this is the fun. Like when she starts talking to people, this is the fun part. I don't want to skip this part.
She comes out of the subway station. She walks up.
So she walks for wherever. I guess figures out how to get on the subway station from Jersey, and she's now in the middle. And she's like trying to solicit a date from people. So she starts kicking no one wants to give her money. So she starts like kicking the crap out of people in a way, inadvertently pushing away. She like throws this guy into traffic, and you hear brakes squealing. So you just got hit by. She just murdered a guy probably. All these Japanese tourists, because New York was big
taking their pictures
with their cameras, or like
because they're Asian. Of course, Asians always take pictures everywhere
they
go.
So stereotypical, like New York back then.
But then she runs into like this Robert Ebert looking guy.
The first thing I want to like just laugh at some of the stuff in the background. You have a big Fuji film sign. Like you don't really see that anymore. Like Fuji is just like because no one uses like cameras very much and is not using film so much.
So
like, a lot
Fuji
of stuff
still makes cameras.
No, but I'm saying you don't see it as much anymore. Like they're not like a huge company like they were. Because we were making jokes about Kodiak also. Kodiak and Fuji were the two one of the biggest companies of the day.
Do you remember going to photo processing places that would be like an hour or less?
Yeah, little.
Do you remember how much
huts,
it used to cost to develop film?
I mainly used like Walmart though. I was able to go to Walmart's. It wasn't until like I was a little older when I really personally developed film, or when you know what I mean. I didn't really take pictures that much until I was 99, 2002 ish. Going to some concert stuff. So used to bring disposable cameras with us, but there was nothing before. Like it was either the super. Actually, it was like probably 2000 on. I think I might have developed like one or two cameras around 99, but it was all after that. So it was like Walmart. But I know what you mean. Like I know with my mom, we had going to these little photo huts and whatever. But I want to say I spent maybe $11, $8. Depends on the size of the picture. For a roll, and then then you'd get a CD though, because that was like the big thing too.
Yeah,
It's like an extra $1.
Put them on your computer, and
yeah, you could put them right on your computer. It wasn't like transferring then.
Yeah, you actually had to have the media. I remember disposable cameras were like 24 or 27 pictures.
I think you go up to like 36. I think you could get larger. I think you could get larger ones, but yeah, your average was like 24. That was for because I think the more pictures you got, the less quality, because you had the higher quality,
the film was of a higher quality, but it took up more space in the camera. Yeah.
Like the film roll, if it was only 24 pictures, I think you can get like 20 or 18, but it was like such a high exposure. You know what I mean? Like a better exposure rate, where if you got the 36, it was like a more of a basic picture.
Yeah, compressed or whatever. I wonder if we could find any old disposable cameras.
Yeah, I think you could still buy them.
Really?
Yeah, pretty sure they still make them. They're a little more advanced.
Everyone has it on their phone now, so
yeah, but I'm pretty sure they still make them, because people will do that for like weddings and parties and stuff, and pass around cameras. Right.
Guest
as like
cameras,
guest cameras and stuff, which is always bad news. I think people I know will take pictures of their balls on you. And buttholes, and you know what I mean. You never know what you're gonna get on those cameras, but
this was our special day, and all we got is fucking balls and assholes.
Balls and assholes, and a couple cute pictures of people.
Yeah. So where are you at? I'm at an hour and 24.
I didn't jump that far. You mean 1 hour and 24 seconds?
Oh yeah, 1 hour 24 seconds. Yeah, no, not towards the end.
124 is yeah. I'm at 1 hour 49 seconds.
49. All right, let me jump. Okay, so yeah, basically
I jumped past. There's that super, like weirdo, stubby fat guy who's all super excited. She drags him, and he's like, yeah, I got money, whatever. And he's like, I know this place. Like it's just a funny scene. You gotta watch it. I can't do it any justice talking about it, so I just kind of skipped ahead. I just paused it as we were talking. I didn't get we could get further in. We could go a little further.
No, I mean, if you want, I want to make it to when they're in the bedroom. I would say an hour and 1 minute, 33 seconds. He's laying on the bed, and he's like, oh, what do you want to do? And she starts talking about like medical lingo from earlier when they were in the hotel.
Well, even before that, she's spitting out a lot of Zorro Girl lines and stuff. And
he's falling for it.
Yeah.
And then I like to play doctor. Oh, yeah, he's taking off his tie. He's all excited. And she takes off her top, and you see purple areola nipples.
Now, there was more to the scene. We want to pause it for a sec. There was more to this scene originally, where they kept dyeing pubic hair over and over again to try to get it that right purple. But I guess they finally got it, and there was more. Like, they showed more of a full body of her. But he's like, it just didn't fit with the movie or whatever. Or I don't know. I guess it was just too much. Like, it didn't fit the scene, so he ended up cutting it after all the fucking multiple dye jobs this girl had to go through getting her pubes done purple. Because, like, in movies, they have to make sure, like, they have, like, this, big 70s bush going on. Otherwise, they can't show it, really. Now they get a little more away with it. You know what I mean? They don't really see much, even though it's still, I guess it's just a
you want to know something funny
times.
Now we're on the subject of bush. Return of the Living Dead, when Linnea Quigley's in the graveyard and she jumps up and strips naked,
and she has nothing there. That was like a huge deal. I know.
Here's the thing.
I know
that's actually
a piece.
prosthetic.
I know.
She jumped on, she had the bush, and they said you could hide a VCR in that thing. It was so massive. And the director's like, hey, sweetheart, we got to get rid of that or something. So they got rid of it. And then it was exposing too much. And he's like, okay, we need a pube wig. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? So then they put the pube wig on, and they're like, no, it looks fake. It looks like you got fucking Mr. T in a fucking leg lock. So then,
this is from the documentary, right? That you heard this?
Yeah. Then they just put the cod piece over it, and they're like, you know what? Let's call it a day.
They basically gave her the Ken doll treatment on there. They made this little piece and just kind of stuck it with some double-sided tape or whatever.
Some gaff tape or something. Oh, I'm sorry. I love you, Linnea. I really do. So yeah, she takes off her top, super purple nipples. She's walking closer to the bed, and this guy, he's like on fucking cloud nine. He's just like, all right, I'm about to get some. Now, as she gets closer, you see the check mark on her right ass cheek, and you also see a scar on her back. She
Oh yeah,
straddles
the
him.
check mark is there.
Yep. And she's really working this guy. She's calling him Jeffrey, which, whatever. And he literally starts to smoke. Like, smoke is like emitting from this guy. But he's still having a good time. Good for him.
Well, it's funny because she has the white face, and then she has a white hand, but then she has a black person's forearm.
Yeah.
Like, she's all multicolored. It's kind of funny.
Now, the CGI here, kind of stupid. In his mouth starts.
Yeah. It works, though. It works.
It does.
It works. It's not like the movie Shocker, which we'll get into another time, but...
Now, I'll tell you what doesn't work is when he does explode, his head comes off. She's holding it, and there's this terrible green screen arched out effect where his head is like still talking. And obviously, that was done with green screen, but you can kind of tell. But it wasn't bad for what they did. Honestly.
No. For the time, it fits. It doesn't hold today as much, but it's not like bad CG now. It's still funny and campy, and you can laugh at it. It's not.
Oh, absolutely. Where are you at?
103.44, where he talks to the Swedish guy in the Batman shirt.
And he goes, "Who the hell speaks Swedish in New York?"
But he's speaking Finnish, it turns out.
Yeah.
This guy worked with the director in Basket Case with some other stuff. He was just like a friend, and he threw him in there. I thought the guy kind of looked like Rutger Hauer a little bit back in the day. The dude from Blade Runner and a billion other B movies.
Oh, yeah,
He kind of looks like him a little bit, but this dude's taller. Not that Rutger Hauer's a small guy, but...
No,
yeah,
but I see what you're saying.
That similar look. They probably have some similar genetics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think Rutger Hauer is from that area of the world originally, or his family is.
Okay. That makes sense.
So now... the guy explodes and she steals his money out of his wallet.
Yeah, like
makes sure she gets her.
Yeah,
she makes sure she gets her money. And now she
runs into another scumbag in the hall.
Grease ball with a he's like the Brooklyn Brawlers like brother. Like
he's like if the Brooklyn Brawler and Little Guido had a kid, it would be this
like
guy.
the Brooklyn Brawler and Casey Jones had like a retarded greasy cousin.
He does look like Casey Jones. He does.
Had like a greasy retarded cousin, like,
And then he tries to force himself on her, kisses her,
and explodes.
Starts electrifying up, and then all of a sudden explode, and a head comes flying out the window.
That isn't even remotely
right
close to looking like him, though, either. That's the funny part.
And
then lands in the trash can. Yeah, it's just hilarious.
Yeah, I think that was like a throwaway scene that they weren't really too worried about.
No. But it's funny. It's really great.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So now he pulls up in his, like, surgeon gear, trying to find her, and he starts talking about the Zorro tattoo, and this guy's like... It's like, what is Zabo? They keep calling him Zabo, but his name's Zorro.
Yeah.
You notice that? Like, they keep...
Yeah, I did. I thought it was weird. But all the girls who he was talking to said, "Oh no, all of Zorro's girls are dead.
Yeah.
Like we want nothing to do with you." So it's pretty well known what happened that day or night or whenever that shit happened.
And then you got the guy that you actually think is probably a real pimp. That's what I picture pimps looking back then. In realistic form. Even though I want pimps to look like Zorro, though.
Or at least the Godfather.
Yeah, right. Then there's just some weird hookers and tranny hookers and all sorts of other, just showing the... It's probably like a legit street in New York. They try just like, can we just film? You guys mind just hanging out?
Yeah. Just don't be assholes.
Grande Bar and Grill.
This is the bar that is named after the large eggs.
There's your cafeteria lady dancing on the stage right there.
Yeah. And you got Zorro and some little crackhead talking, and the little crackhead sees Frankenhooker for the very first time. I guess he's in the bar all the time, and he's like never seen her, and he's like infatuated with like this purple-haired girl, and she's walking through the bar, and she's like, "Do you remember the episode of Family Guy when Stewie creates the clones of him?" And it's like, "Hey, you got any money?" Like that's kind of like she's walking around the bar, like, "You want a date?"
I think this guy is wearing like a double brimmed hat. Did you ever see those in the 90s? Where there's like one brim here and one like.
Yeah, I don't think they were popular then.
No, I don't think they were, and they obviously not that. Oh yeah, she sees the pretzels because she was like eating pretzels was like a thing in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, yeah. And then you had this old biker hag behind the bar, and she's like, "Hey, why don't you calm down?" And then you get some dog growling noises coming out. Like, I didn't know there was part dog in there.
Her faces are hilarious though here.
Oh, dude, they're the best.
So good.
Like I can't even do. She's like the female Jim Carrey, and she's cute. She's a good-looking girl.
Yeah, that is funny. She's like, I think he's talking to her. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna take my temperature, Doc?" She's like, "I bet you got a big thermometer."
And the guy's like, "Ah!"
Yeah. So like Zorro's over there crying and crying, but he keeps hearing all these familiar phrases and lines, and he sees the brand on her arm.
Mm-hmm. I think the guy, he takes her to a booth out in the corner. Like, he wants to spend a little bit more one-on-one time with her.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts her in the corner, and obviously he's trying to work his moves. Zorro, he's kind of like zoning in. He's like listening, and he's like,
"No one puts baby in a corner."
Right. And then this guy, I guess he was interested in going to the tuna buffet because he, ducks below the table. And she's sitting there, and all of a sudden her face changes real quick. Like, you know what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get a weird transvestite hooker at one of the tables.
So,
yeah.
Dude,
where
"Ooh,
are you?
I'm at 110-13." So it's right when he starts,
Yeah,
smoking
as soon as he
up,
starts going down the faces,
and his feet start going up and moving, and you see the smoke and electric coming out. Oh my god, it's so funny.
It's good. And then his legs have the lightning bolts going between them and stuff. And
there's that really horrible explosion that looks like it would have blew up the whole bar.
Oh my god, that explosion!
Yeah.
You know what that was? That reminded me of Freddy's head flying at the screen at the end of that. You remember?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it was part 5. So the doctor, Jeff, he pulls over, and there's a street preacher. You know, the guy's, "The end is nigh, the end is nigh." And he's like talking all this shit, and Jeffrey's like, "Dude, have you seen her?" He's like, "In that bar."
Sorry, pause this. Have you ever met a street preacher?
Yeah.
They're fucking great, aren't they?
Most of them.
I mean, they're scary, but I mean, they're great entertainment. Like when you're walking through New York and you see these people, I never actually stopped and talked to one of them. I keep going because you never know what you're gonna get with those fucking people. But
it's a free show.
It's definitely a free show. You keep your distance, you watch for a little bit, and you keep on moving. Do your thing, but yeah.
The reason I said that most of them were pretty cool is because there used to be one in Ocean City, Maryland, who would start all the way down at the end of the pier and would drag a 10-foot, 200-pound cross all up and down the boardwalk while trying to preach. And I understand the symbolism, but what I don't get is, why are you dragging this 200-pound cross? There's families trying to walk by and have fun with their kids and shit, and this guy's just trudging down the boardwalk with this fucking cross, talking about revelations and shit. Like, that guy was a dick.
No, well, I get that, but that's not what I meant by.
No, I know the street people.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, like, yeah, I've seen them in Asbury, I've seen them other places, but like, it's different when you're in New York City. Like the New York City street preachers, you know, like, because we would take the PATH train from Hoboken right to under Madison Square Garden. Like there's it's 33rd Street or whatever. You take that train in, and we'd walk up like into Times Square because, like I said, you had the Roseland Ballroom there at the time, where you'd walk over to 15th and Irving, I think it was. So you get Irving Plaza. You can go there for concerts, and then there was one other place somewhere.
Was the Roseland the old ECW place?
No, that's Hammerstein Ballroom. You're thinking
Hammerstein, that's it.
So
yeah, okay.
Roseland turned into like the World Theater at one point in time, and then something. I don't know what it is anymore, but so that was up on. I think it actually was on 34th Street. So it was like right, like Times Square was like right there. You know what I mean? So you'd walk up, you know, like 10 streets, 12 streets, whatever. It was a nice walk. It only took like 20 minutes, especially if you're going in the summertime. You know, as long as you make it back by like 2:00 at the latest, that you can catch like one of the last PATH trains over, because a lot of times they would shut them down like from X amount of time to whatever, or you get stranded in there. Whatnot. Sometimes, you know, some nights they would. I guess I don't know. I guess it depends. Sometimes I guess some years they were running all the time. Some years they would stop. Like it was weird.
You would have to know the schedule ahead of time before going.
But we used to go up all the time because, I guess, you know, it was a hour drive to Hoboken roughly, and then, you know, you just take it. It's not that far. You know, we were living in Central Jersey, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, driving to Philly. We didn't go to a lot of Philly shows, which we should have, because Philly is a way better place to see concerts. Well, actually, Philly and New York are pretty fun. They're a lot of fun. The crowds are a little different. New York was a little.
I've had good experiences in New York.
New York's a little more mosh oriented. Philly's a little more chill, but the pits like whatever. But New Jersey's like the worst place ever to see shows. It's where all the douchebags go to shows. All the fights and the gangs and the
Atlantic City.
Well, I have a story about that too.
Who did you see in Atlantic City?
I saw a lot of things at the House of Blues in Atlantic City over there.
Dude, House of Blues. Yeah. That's exactly.
You get the AC Skinheads hang out down there. We had to deal with the AC Skins at the shows. I saw Unearth, As I Lay Dying, and Slipknot closed it out in the House of Blues there. It's actually my top 3 greatest shows of all time. It's probably like number 2, I think, maybe. Yeah, it was phenomenal. It was so good. Yeah, made friendly with the skinheads real quick in the mosh pit there. That's all I'm saying.
I saw 311, and a lot of people had this theory that 311 was like a racist band.
Really? I never heard that before.
Huh?
I never heard that before.
So 11 in the alphabet is K.
Yeah.
So 311 is KKK. So a lot of people thought they were like this racist band, but they never listen. Like, listen to the music. There's nothing
like
inherently
hippie rappers.
Yeah, seriously. So of course, you had the stoner hippie people, and then you had like these really intense, like white trashy people. And I don't want to say they were all skinheads, but there was some skinheads there.
Yeah, it's the AC Skins. They just what they do. They hang out at the concerts down in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Danzig there a couple
I would never
times.
go again.
I saw some other stuff. They actually started the Danzig show early there at one time. Then an hour earlier than the ticket said, so we missed the Agony Scene, unfortunately. The Agony Scene opened up for Danzig, one of the blackest of the black tours.
Oh shit!
Yeah, saw No Effects. That's where they played the Decline.
The Decline.
When I saw them, yeah, forget who they played with though.
If you saw them in the same year I did, because they were playing the Decline, they were opening with it.
Yeah.
I saw them in at the Black Cat, I think, in DC, and they had 2 other punk bands, but they were like no-name bands.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't. They weren't huge bands. The one was good. The one sucked. That's what I brought out of it. But like, it wasn't bad. But yeah, you know, Fat Mike did his usual. Give me some girl, give me your bra and panties, and he wore them over his clothes.
Yeah,
like on stage, his usual spiel. It was fun. Yeah. It was a good time. It was a good show. They were good live. It was fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think like who else, but yeah, AC was fun for shows. But you get in trouble with the wrong people there. You're kind of fucked.
I just didn't like the crowd. I didn't mind the shows.
Actually, Atlantic City was the least worried about place that I ever went to in Jersey. There was Birch Hill before it got torn down. It was one of the greatest venues in the world to see bands play, but the crowd was the fucking worst. But even worse than that is a Starland Ballroom. And then you had other smaller places, like there's one place in Asbury, Club Deep was pretty bad. The Stone Pony, Club Deep is, you have the Stone Pony, which is fun. But that crowd's like hit or miss. The bouncers are actually you got to worry about the most at that place for the most part.
I hate that shit.
But Starland, you have to worry about the bouncers and the people, and then you got to worry about like little cliques of gangs and stuff. Like,
that's probably why the bouncers were bad, because the crowds were assholes. You know?
Well, no, a lot of the people in the crowd were either former bouncers there or friends with the bouncers, so they'd let them get away with murder, and then if you try to stand up for yourself against those people, then you got to deal with those people and the bouncers because they're all friends. It's just bad. Yeah. But anyway, I forgot we were talking about.
What timestamp are you at?
I'm at 1:11:07.
Dude, me too. That's so.
Well, we
weird.
said pause and whatever, so I thought.
Yeah, but still, at least a second or two off, you would think.
Yeah.
So I hit play. Zorro now comes
he
up to her with
confronts
the
her.
worst line reading of the movie. Where'd you get this arm?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't your arm. This isn't your chest.
No, but his punch is amazing though.
The punch is good.
But you can tell he's like trying to like movie punch it or whatever. So he like hits her and her head just kind of flops back, and just hanging there, and you get this like scene of like or whatever, but like all the electricity is coming out, shooting at her face. Oh, dude, it's great. It's so bad but great.
Pretty well, dude. The head,
the head looks awesome.
Good.
Yeah, the head looks awesome. I kind of wish you saw some vertebrae there, but technically there's nothing holding it together.
Yeah, like a little bit of glue, because you saw he was putting some glue on certain things.
But I wish like the little stump like coming up. I'm trying to point to it like you can see my screen.
I know what you're talking about.
Like the stump, like there was just a little bit of vertebrae on the top stump and on her stump too. I guess there's something there, but it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't look the way.
But it's not what it should be.
It doesn't look at how I expected to see. Like she doesn't. Her head when he flips it over doesn't have anything there, but the body part has a little piece of vertebrate stump.
Yeah, there's nothing on the head that's connecting it. Where there should be, especially like bone or anything. But when Jeff comes back in and he makes it to her, all he does is flip her head back and boom, it's like automatically right there. That's what I'm saying. Like that was actually shot all pretty well.
Need to go back a few seconds. There's a guy that like comes out while he walks out the door. That looks like his pants are on fire. Like it looks like he's got a. Oh yeah. It looks like he's got a smoke. The guy with the black bandana. Guy. Yeah, it looks like he's got a smoke bomb in his shorts because there's way too much. Because there's way too much smoke coming out of it just as he like following him like a little ring. It's hilarious.
He probably figured, you know what? I got to make sure I get in this movie.
Yeah. I think it's literally a smoke bomb in his shorts, like going off and.
So, they do...
little fun tip about smoke bombs without burning your hands off, because I did burn my finger once, but you can take a smoke bomb, light it, and as it's like spraying the smoke out, you can hold it to a tiki torch, and it turns into a little flamethrower. It'll shoot... the smoke is flammable and shoots out like a little flamethrower.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But I did burn my finger a little bit doing it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's bound to happen.
No, but whatever's coming out of the smoke bomb is flammable, is what I'm saying. So it turns into like it shoots out.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's like the same thing with like a candle. When you blow out a candle, you hold a lighter to the smoke, it'll light the wick again.
Oh yeah,
like it holds. You know what I mean?
It's sort of the same, but I know what you mean.
So they make it back to the garage.
Yeah, and these staples are
now the way he put the head on is the traditional Frankenstein, like the big staples. Where earlier
she's got the neck bolts now.
Yep, got the bolts. Like, this is traditional Frankenstein.
I think he's going to try to give her another shock to see if he can reset her system, per se.
Yeah. The old hard reboot, whatever. It's weird, though. You know what they don't explain is after he plugs it in, he unplugs it. He's kind of, like, defeated because she doesn't, like, really...
His little dance.
Kick up.
Like...
Yeah.
Plug. It's kind of hilarious. It's unnecessary.
But then she wakes up, and she's talking just like it was normal, like the day of the party. Like, hey, where's it? Like, how did that happen? What?
Well, it's because of her brain. I think it kickstarted into her brain instead of the body parts anymore.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think it just needed
Yeah.
the remix, but she says she still feels all the other stuff inside.
Yeah,
So,
she does feel that.
So that wasn't the thing. Like, the other stuff was coming out first instead of her.
But she's in control
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Where previously it was everyone else fighting for control. Now, basically, you have Jeffrey telling her, like, dude, you were in the accident with the lawnmower. She was like, was I in a coma? He was like, no, worse.
Yeah.
You know, you were dead, but I fixed you. I put you back together. And, like, you could tell she's a little aggravated, or she has questions at least.
Eso no mata, eso uso.
Yeah.
Eso fantástico.
He's telling her that he did all this for her.
No, eso de
she's,
medias. Sorry. I'm just fucking around.
She's looking at the hand. That was actually a really good effect. The painting of the hand. But she's looking at her body. She's like, this isn't my hand. These aren't my tits. This is my leg. And he's like, you know, I did it because I love you.
Learn to speak Spanish while watching Frankenhooker.
Yeah, the Spanish subtitles are on. Now, here's the dumbest part of the movie, in my opinion. Zorro walks into the back door of the garage.
Yeah, he follows him back from the club.
Right. He grabs, like, this big knife, like a little
It's
machete
a machete,
thing.
yeah.
He's walking up behind Jeffrey, and the girl doesn't say anything. She clearly sees him the entire time, and Zorro fucking cuts his head off.
Yeah.
He was in her line of sight, and she didn't say watch out or nothing? Why?
No. The question is, who are you? Such
Yeah,
bad
terrible
delivery
reading.
lines right now. It's so bad.
So Zorro's saying, you are my property because you're built of my property. And he's like, and I'll get you to come with me. And he pulls the drugs out of the pocket.
This will get you right.
Drugs come out, yeah, the old, hold on. The old. Well, as soon as he pulls those drugs out, a hand starts reaching out of the chest freezer. Oh, you got him too.
Yeah, my migraines.
Yeah, me too. The chest freezer opens and it's shaking and it drops out and you see all these body parts.
Doggo came running in. He thought I had food. He's like, "What's that shaking?"
He heard the
yeah.
little... Now, do you want to explain this whole fucking David Lynch fucking Eraserhead bullshit?
Well, all the parts were in the. I'm sorry. These things are just amazing. They're so good. But I mean, this is like straight up basket case effects. You know what I mean? Like this is
Yeah.
the movie like straight up. So all the parts are in the thing, and when it got shocked, oh god, it's so foul. He like has to kiss that one like little
yeah.
But so like they all come alive and they basically break out and they drag Zorro into.
But they all molded together.
Yeah.
It's not like there's an individual.
Well, you gotta figure they kind of with all the electricity from kind of spliced them together, and I don't know.
I paused it.
You can't.
So basically, you have an upside down torso, but where the crotch would be,
There's a
you
mouth.
have a jaw and a mouth, or you have a head connected to a leg with like two little.
And then there's a pile of boobs with like an arm coming out, and another pile of boobs with like a head attached to it, and it's just hilarious.
It's awesome. It is.
Yeah.
That is my favorite part of the movie, I'll say.
And they drag him into the cooler and close it, and they essentially they must kill him. I mean, that's what they're getting at.
Well, they open the cooler again. They grab the crack because the crack fell out.
Yeah, they're like, crack? They like, jumped out like, oh, he's got crack. Yeah.
Now, obviously, the girlfriend lives, and she picks up the head of her deceased boyfriend, and you get this little fade out and fade back in. Now, she's wearing the doctor's helmet, and she's like, hey, Jeff, wake up, wake up. And he wakes up, and he's like, what happened? And she's like, oh, Zorro, he came in. He fucking killed you. But you left very detailed notes. Go ahead.
No, this part doesn't make any sense to me, is what I'm getting at, because like so basically she transplanted his head onto a woman's body now, and
Yep.
and he's back alive. But she said I couldn't give you a man's body or Zoro's body because you can't you can only reanimate women's body with your estrogen blood serum or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if that was true, why is his head alive?
I thought the same thing.
Like it bothers me on that. So, but
it does, and I think maybe if they wanted to say because the head wasn't detached too long from the body,
but then just reanimate his body then.
Right, they didn't say anything about that.
Yeah, just reanimate his body, reattach his body. His body didn't get ruined.
No.
And men do have estrogen in them, just not at the levels women do.
Right.
So, like, theoretically, in his science, I mean, I think you could reanimate his body. Maybe he might get man boobs in the process, but hey, he could give himself that surgery where you get rid of the man boobs. That's like a thing.
Yeah, The Rock had it.
Did he really?
Yeah.
So some guys have like fluid sacs that cause whatever, and they have to put these drain tubes in there.
Yep. If you notice in '99, The Rock, a lot of his matches he wrestled with the shirt on.
Yeah. No.
Because he was going through that. Now, I will say probably my least favorite effect in this entire movie is this last scene, because all they did was get the actor to stand behind like a board and put his head out, and they attached it to a body. I've seen that done very well before, but not here.
Yeah, it's done pretty bad. Now, he was like in this latex and whatever for hours, apparently. It took hours to do this scene. And I know it doesn't seem like it when you look at it. But like, you know what the funny part is? Like, this is the most convincing acting she's done in the whole movie too. Like all her acting, she like nails her lines. But she's still funny and does like a real like slapstick acting with her faces and her walk and other stuff. But she actually seems like a real actress here at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's almost like when she was the girlfriend in the beginning of the movie, they told her to play dumb, and she was wearing the pillows, and she was kind of dumb, and her delivery wasn't that confident. Then, as the Frankenhooker, it's like she had a lot of fun, so she could kind of just be wild and crazy and stuff. And now at the end, it's like she's got her normal brain, but she's still, you know what I mean?
She's got her normal brain, but looks better.
Yeah, she looks a lot better. I actually think she's cute.
I do. I would date Frankenhooker as long as she didn't try to kill me.
Well, she didn't try to kill him.
Well, I meant like because in the beginning, she was like killing dudes.
Oh yeah,
like,
So basically, the movie ends because she's like, "Now we could be together, you and me and your man boobs." And then he has just this weird expression, like, like the yelling from his mouth does not match what his face is doing. And if you listen to it, you can hear the yelling, but his face is just. Like, that's literally what it is. Fade to black. Credits.
There's like a credit like later in the end that just says no people or animals were harmed in the making of this movie. It's just supposed to be a joke. I know that's like normal, like to a certain extent for credits now, but because of all the exploding hookers and the guinea pig and stuff, they put in there as a joke.
It does say special thanks to the City of New York's Mayor's Office for Film and Television, City of New York Tactical Police Force, New York State Film Commission, New Jersey State Film Commission, Liberty State Park, and Con Edison Manhattan Public Affairs. Special thanks to all of them because I guess they were the ones who gave them all the permits and stuff.
You gotta figure, some of those places they were filming probably weren't their best, so they needed police escort probably.
Oh my god, absolutely.
Even with their guerrilla filming, they still got to worry about it. They're probably greasing palms and keeping people away.
But that was Frankenhooker.
Mm-hmm. So what'd you think? Because I mean, obviously I picked this movie. I love this movie. I think it's a great movie. It's fun. It's a little stupid, but that's part of the fun of the movie.
So when I first finished it, I didn't do any type of research before watching this movie. And I saw it and I said, it's not acted very well, and some of these effects aren't that good. But then when I did the research after and I saw the guy did all the basket case movies, it clicked. Like, this is the type of movie this guy makes.
Yeah, they also filmed this and Basket Case 2 at the same time.
That makes sense because of
I
the
guess
release
not
date.
literally at the same time, but they went right after another. Yeah, they're
Concurrent,
both.
yeah.
They're both released one after another the same year. So,
and as soon as I realized that, I'm a little bit. I'm not as heavy on the movie. Like, I'm not as critical because I have seen Basket Case multiple times. I love that movie, and I get the sense of humor, and I get, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's this is like his thing. You know what I mean? It would be like shitting on Sam Raimi for making the Evil Dead movies the way he did.
Well, it would be like if I shit on Army of Darkness, but I enjoyed Evil Dead 1 and 2.
But you do that
even
already,
though it's
though.
all the same. Huh?
I said, but you do that already, though.
I don't shit on it. I just said it's not the best of the three. I think it's the worst of the three. But I don't think it's terrible. I like the movie. I just wish it would have... You know how I feel.
I know. I was just busting balls.
I know. But for the record, I do like Army of Darkness. It's just, I think part 2 is my favorite.
Fair
so
enough.
what do you... What is something about this movie that you would change? Like, number one, we're filming this thing tomorrow. What is the first thing that you're changing?
Oh, man. The fat suit. The fat suit for one. And just maybe some of the actors swapping them out. Like, the beginning... I think the party scene could have been... the whole party in the intro and the beginning of the movie could have been filmed a little better. Maybe give them a little more backstory. Maybe throw in some after it before he makes her, change some of the things, and then throw in. Actually, or maybe in the beginning, maybe throw some flashbacks of him in medical school, getting like flunked out or not flunked. Oh, he didn't flunk out. He got kicked out for maybe making show some of his weird experiments that maybe he was working on that got him kicked out of medical school. And then change the way the party scene was shot. I mean, it wasn't shot bad, but the people sucked in it. And maybe show a little bit more with the mower. Not too much, because I like how they kept it kind of like simple.
And I like how they revisited it in the news channel thing.
Yeah, that was cool because that showed you more. Yeah, then you get the kind of aftermath a little bit of it. But just his family and her family. I just didn't like them in the. I don't like the way they shot. I didn't like their personalities. I didn't like their dialogue. I would just change that around, but everything else I would pretty much keep the same. I like the flow of the movie for the most part.
I think the only actors that I would have kept in this movie would have been Frankenhooker herself, Elizabeth, and Jeffrey, the main guy. Everybody else would have been recast.
I would maybe give Zorro some acting lessons.
Yeah. He had potential.
He had the look that I would want for that. His lines were bad. But, I mean, he kind of fit with his line. Maybe just give him a little help. Like, he didn't have to be perfect. I mean...
No, but take more than one take.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, too, his English might not be his first language either. That might be why some of his speaking isn't as good as you would expect it to be.
Yeah, could have been.
I mean, he could have learned it over years and whatnot, but not like been formally taught it.
Right.
Like I said, I think that dude was probably someone. I don't think he's a legit actor. I didn't IMDb him, but I don't think he's a legit actor. I think he's just someone that they grabbed because of how fucking amazing his look is.
Well, like how he was jacked. That was the main thing. Like he was a big guy.
Yeah, but just his look
maybe
overall,
he was a bouncer,
in general.
But maybe he was a bouncer. Maybe he was security or something. And they were like, "Oh, you know what? You look really good in this." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And they did their best with him.
He did Brain Damage in '88 with the guy. He was Guy in Shower as Joe Gonzalez and Frankenhooker. That's it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But besides the acting, I would try to stay away from the CG that they used in this movie. If you don't have the money or you don't have the technology, you look for workarounds, but don't like cheapen your movie's look.
The explosion was really bad. That was the worst CG in the whole movie. The explosion was bad. When the guy talked after his head, when they were having sex or whatever, that wasn't as bad. But you can tell the background was pretty. It wasn't that bad. It was still funny, and I liked the way it looked.
It was suitable for the movie.
Yeah, it was funny, whatever.
Part.
But that fucking explosion was just god awful. The scene with the whole
coming out of the
roof looked pretty bad. I feel like they could have made that a painting, like Killer Clowns.
Yeah.
And,
oh my god.
And made it look better. I wasn't so much mad at the colors of the electricity and stuff. That all looked fine, because that and the rest of the movie looked good. But yeah, I didn't like just the overall look of the scene. I think they could have made it a painting and had the miniature come up, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, especially back then, you had tons of people still painting miniatures, so they weren't hard to find.
Or no, well, just the background of the miniature. That's what I mean. Like,
yeah. I would have kept the exploding hooker scene 100% the same.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree.
Thing I would have changed about that.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. Actually, no, you know what I would have changed? I would have put the 7th hooker back in.
Yeah, right. Not like anyone would have fucking noticed.
It's just weird because there's really no blood in that scene at all. Like, I don't understand what the big deal was.
Maybe it was the gratuitous nudity.
No, but it was specifically the 7th hooker exploding is what they had a problem with. I think they just wanted to have a say with something. Because it's not like they were showing close up of like a bush and other things. You know what I mean? Like, you just saw boobs, and that was normal. I mean, that was like very on par with some other movies that had like scenes like that with hookers. Like, like, I don't know. Bachelor Party is one of them that I can think of back, in that time. That was like 88 or something, 87.
Yeah.
They had hookers and stuff, and they were all naked like that in a room, and they were partying. So I don't think that was really so much the issue. It was the exploding hookers, which I don't get. Like I said, it wasn't bloody and gory like some other movies that they have issues with. So.
Yeah, I think like you said, they just kind of wanted to have a say in something to make it. So their presence was
they changed the name of it when they were doing, like, they just had it as Frankenstein 1990 instead of Frankenhooker when they were trying to get, like, sets and, book places, because they didn't want people to hear the name and say no to them. So I think the name really caused an issue with the MPAA and, like, the SAG and other, I think they had some issues, unfortunately.
So, overall, what would you put this grading as? Don't let nostalgia play into it, because I had to do that with the Meet the Feebles.
No,
but like as a solid
I think
review
this still holds up. My nostalgia doesn't. I had just as much fun watching this as I did back in the day. I still give this like a solid 8.5. I think.
I wouldn't go that high.
I have a lot of fun with it. I like the effects.
But I would be a 7.5. I would be at the range.
Yeah, we're close though.
We're close. Highly recommended.
It's like an 8.5, somewhere around there in my opinion. I wouldn't go below an 8 though. But yeah, we're close.
Yeah, I would recommend it to people who haven't seen it. I wouldn't say you need to watch a 24-hour marathon.
No, you couldn't watch this over and over again. But it's one of those movies where I don't know if I can watch this like once a year, but I can watch this every like 2 or 3 years and
every other year get caught up
and
on
watch it
and
and laugh, and it's a fun or try to introduce it to someone new that's never seen it and watch it with them, and that I can probably do every year because you get like the reaction
watching
factor.
It with someone new.
Yeah, it's just a fun movie. Like I said, I have a Frankenhooker shirt, so it's like I do enjoy this movie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's very similar to the box cover. It's just her walking. And it just has a little talk bubble, and it says, "Want a date?" And she's like, "Yeah, like it's hilarious."
Where'd you get that? Frighties?
Fright Rags. You
Fright
can't
Rags.
get the name right.
I keep saying that.
We're not going to get a sponsor if you can't get the goddamn name right. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I keep getting mixed up with Teespring. Tea.
Arizona Green Tea, we want a sponsor.
Oh my God, I would love to be sponsored by Arizona.
And they need to start making their blueberry green tea again because I haven't seen that in fucking forever.
I don't think I had
That
that.
that plum green tea was really good too.
I had the peach one, the peach green tea. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was very very rare. They didn't have it very long. And then they had the plum one was a big one for a while. That was in the glass bottles. Remember that were like up, and then they had
Oh
the
yeah,
cylinder.
yeah. It was like a fat one, and
Yeah,
it kind of
yep.
got skinny at the top, and it was like that
Mm-hmm.
tall.
It
Yeah,
was
I
taller.
like
Yeah, they
those.
were like a
Yeah,
good
they were good
good
size.
10 inches or so. That's what she said. Hey, but
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the breakdown of Frankenhooker. If that sounds like something you want to watch, we actually gave the timestamps throughout the movie of where we were so you could get caught up with us and watch it alongside us or just listen to the review. We have next week's episode picked out, and this is one of my picks.
boo,
And I remember,
boo,
huh?
boo, Gran
No,
his picks.
I remember.
I know.
I
I'm just joking.
remember watching this movie for one reason only, and it doesn't hold up. I even in my mind, I'm looking back at it. I'm like, man, it wasn't that
This
good.
was another VHS of mine that I had. I don't own it.
You did
I
have
had
this?
this on VHS. Yeah. I don't know.
Fuck, man, I wish you still had your collection.
I know. It's another one. It's on a
I don't want
blockbuster
to say it was
spending
his
spree.
only movie, but it was the first movie that I remember him being like the star in. And maybe this is why he didn't do much acting after this.
Actually, I wonder how
but
much he did afterwards. Hold on.
Yeah. The movie that we're reviewing next week is the Snoop Dogg film, Bones. I believe it was, 97? 98?
Somewhere around there. I mean, he has a lot. I mean, a lot of these are music videos and other stuff. I mean, he's like 191 actor credits, technically.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He's in a lot of like direct-to-video stuff, too.
Yeah. Oh, he was in Training Day.
Yeah.
He was in the wheelchair. That was okay. Bones is from 2001.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a little older than that. Yeah, 2001. I just found it. There's just so much
Yep.
stuff in here. Training Days 2001. Right before that, he was in Baby
Rotten
Boy.
Tomatoes gave this movie a 1-star review. IMDb has it as a 2-star review. Oh, this is going to be a good episode. Well, okay, wait a minute.
Pauly Shore is Dead, 2003. That was actually a fun movie.
Yeah.
He just plays himself. A lot of these are he plays himself.
Oh, yeah, Half-Baked and stuff like that. Yeah, like little stuff.
Yeah.
But this was his first
Yeah.
starring role.
Well, yeah. And then he had a starring role as Huggy Bear and Starsky and Hutch in 2004. You know, he had some other
So the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter is 22%. And
Hood of Horror was his other one that I was thinking of.
never even heard of
Yeah,
that one.
it's 2006. It's really bad.
Worse than Bones?
Yeah. Yeah, because this is like real indie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the other movie that we wanted to review eventually. That's like the Tales from the Dark Side with all the black people though. It's not that.
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
that. Yeah, no, this one's even worse.
Well, we'll have to add that to the list for a later date.
I think this may just be like a review some
Anthology?
of one of the worst movies.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror. Yeah, it was yeah, it doesn't really like I went in the bottom and looked at some of the names, and so they probably have like brief cameos in it, but DDP's in it. Billy D. Williams, Ernie Hudson, Danny Trejo. You know what I mean? They're probably not like huge, but we'll see.
Like 30-second scene or
Yeah,
something like
maybe
that.
maybe they're more. I don't know. Maybe they have more. I mean, there's other people on here, but yeah, I just remember it being bad. I just remember it being really bad.
that is something that we will have to visit at some time. But next week we are covering his first real leading role, and it's called Bones. So if you want to watch it before we review it next week, go ahead and check it out. I believe it's on Tubi, but it's probably on other platforms as well.
Agreed.
You heard in the audio version of this episode Gore's Kill of the Week, so I want to thank her for that. If you're watching the video of this, make sure you go find us on Facebook or whatever to hear that segment specifically.
It'll probably be on YouTube because you're probably watching this on YouTube. So
oh yeah,
it'll be on there.
If you're on YouTube with this, you'll probably see it there too.
It'll be up there.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, so
I think that wraps up.
Yeah,
our
it's just the
Frankenhooker
usual.
episode.
Go help support us at Patreon. Enjoy some of the perks, all the videos. First cracks at making, giving us stuff you want to review, whether it's a serial killer or movies or whatever. Go comment on all our stuff. Give us ideas for top 4 lists, creature, or just battles between serial killers or whatever, who you'd win. All the fun stuff. Let us know how we're doing on these videos.
Oh, make sure you tune in Thursday for the live
Thursday,
stream.
the live stream. Yep.
Gonna be picking a winner to the contest, and it's not too late to enter if you haven't had a chance yet. Go on Facebook for more details.
Yep. Still got like 5 days, so ish.
Well,
actually, by the time they're hearing this, yeah.
But still, you still have another at least 40 hours, so get on it.
All right. That's it.
I am Gray.
I'm Wolfman.
You guys stay safe out there.
GrindHaus out. Later.
Bye.